ReCasters is a weekly anime podcast covering currently airing seasonal anime. If you like to follow weekly releases and hear discussions about it, you're in the right place.
If you enjoy series reviews and previews, then be warned.
Spoiler City straight ahead.
Hello, welcome back to ReCasters, the only anime podcast where after realizing that Jesse was another part of me all along, I assimilated him to gain power. My name is Jason Robinson, and I'm joined here today by my co-host, Jesse Winter.
Pator earrings? No. Fusion? No. Why don't I get to do the cool combo?
And my other co-host, Chip Harris. I thought about like trying to find like a wind clip, but honestly, that was pretty good. I might just like stick with that.
Hell yeah.
All right, so as you'll have noticed, unfortunately, Chip had to work today, so he is not going to be here. He had other occupational obligations to attend to, which is very sad. Don't worry, we understand. This is our season finale. Welcome to our season finale.
Season finale
For winter 2022?
Yes.
Is that what we're in?
We are.
All right, cool. Yeah.
And not only for winter 2022, but for this format.
Yeah, this is going to be our last episode on the weekly seasonal format before we swap to our new thing. So just a heads up to everybody. If you'd missed the memo like 2 months ago when we talked about it, we're going to be skewing away from the format where we talk about seasonal anime. We're not really sure quite exactly where we've settled yet. The idea is that we're going to do every episode looking kind of like what our bonus episodes usually do, with the post intro and then a main topic. But depending on interest level on certain things, we may or may not all be watching or reading or playing that thing. So it's going to be a little more loose form, hopefully with a couple other interests in there, you know.
Basically, some combination of the three of us having cool discussions about cool anime / manga / video game related stuff.
/ visual novels / light novels.
/ this, that, there, here, my hobbies, your hobbies.
/ nerd thing. Hey, you know what? Even the circle's going to roll around again. We'll probably talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
Shitty live action television as well.
I actually, when you said the circle, I was like trying to remember what you're talking about. It took me a second.
Oh, no. The circle is ingrained in my brain. I can't escape
Ingrained in the membrane?
Ingrained in the brain. So, Chip not being here is a tragedy and a half, but he did leave us with his rankings for every show on the season. So, when we get to the part where we rank the stuff, we have his notes as well.
With his dying breath, his skeletal hand reached from the abyss with a piece of paper, and it said, "These shows sucked."
Chip died? Why is he a skeleton? What the fuck happened while I was gone? I just went to the bathroom. I was gone for like 5 minutes.
He must now ascend.
All right, this is the part of the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that interests us. Which is Akira Toriyama. That's all that interests us now for some reason.
That's all I care about anyway.
So, if you're only interested in the weekly anime reviews, this is the last time for that. But timestamps for everything that we talk about are going to be in the description below. How you feeling this week, Jesse?
I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah, I feel pretty good too. Honestly, like it was like a pretty long week, but I feel rested. I slept for like 9 hours last night.
What the hell, sleeping? Actually, here, I'm going to blow your mind. I think I got 8 hours of sleep every day this week.
You know why that's crazy to me? This is for the audience, but yesterday was my brother's birthday. And so we all hung out with him. We played a board game called Zombicide. We had a good old jolly time, sang some happy birthday and whatnot. And Jesse drank an energy drink at 7:30 at night. So the fact that you got 8 hours of sleep blows my fucking mind.
That's nothing new. I went to bed at 2 a.m.
Oh, my God. Oh. All right, first I'm going to talk about Dragon Quest a little bit on a new segment I'd like to call Adam's Extreme Dragon Quest Corner.
Whoa, what's that?
It's a new segment where I talk about Dragon Quest on the podcast. I got into Dragon Quest again a lot recently. I can't remember if I've talked about that on the podcast at all. But I've really been enjoying it. As always, as I always do with Dragon Quest. But a couple of things that I want to talk about first have nothing to do with the games. All right.
Whoa.
First, I want to show off this little gotcha thing I got. The only person seeing it in person will be Jesse. I'll describe it to everyone else.
Nice.
The other day, I walked into a retro video game store that we have here in Washington called Another Castle. I don't know if those are in other places. I'm pretty sure it's a Washington-only franchise, but...
Fair enough.
And they had a gotcha machine for Dragon Quest, and I was like, what the fuck? So I purchased one, like a moron. Yeah, I fell for the gotcha. They got me. Gotcha.
They gotcha.
They gotcha.
Got him.
And I was really stoked with the results.
Okay, he's got a blue ball in his hand. He's slowly opening it. Inside. I don't know what that is. Some kind of slime.
All right, they're all slimes that you could get, but I specifically got a liquid metal slime.
Oh, that's a liquid metal slime? Yo,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's like one of those like ball, like squishy,
Oh, the squishy dudes.
squishy dudes. You know,
It's like you squish them and they got a little air liquid bubble. It kind of pops out. It's like 2000s Nickelodeon shit.
Yeah, I'll post a picture on the Twitter later. But
Oh, good idea.
but yeah, I was super stoked to get this. I was like, oh, this is the best one in there.
Dude, hell yeah, that's so awesome. I fucking hate fighting those guys in DQ11.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, that's awesome.
$5 well spent. The other much more interesting thing that I got is I kind of went on a journey recently.
What?
All right, like not a metaphorical journey.
Oh, okay.
A digital journey, maybe.
Deep.
I do not like the game Dragon Quest VI. I think that is a bad game. It is the worst game in the series. I've talked about it many times on the podcast.
Okay.
On a Facebook group a Facebook like community that I am a part of, somebody suggested reading the manga instead. If you don't like the anime, read the manga because the story is good. Like the story in the manga is good, and the characters are fun. It's just a bad game. It's paced very poorly.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, I'll check that out. So I went to try to find a place to read the English translation. It was only ever released in Japan.
Oh.
They never released an official localization. And it turns out that finding a translation online is goddamn near impossible.
Incredible.
So then I tried to find the RAWs, which I also couldn't find.
What?
So through stumbling down this hole of trying to read Dragon Quest VI, I found an eBay listing for all 10 volumes of the Japanese manga.
Yo.
I got it for dirt cheap. The shipping was $30 because shipping is ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
But I paid $15.
What?
Yeah.
How's that possible? For DQ merch?
For 10 volumes of Japanese manga. And so here with me, which I will also post on Twitter later. So here with me now, I have all 10 volumes of the Dragon Quest manga. This manga is kind of like insane to me, because they do, you know, as all Dragon Quest stuff does, they do a pretty good job mimicking Akira Toriyama's art style, except for with I think her name is either Ashley or Ashlyn, I forget, but like look at her face.
That is probably the farthest thing from the Akira Toriyama art style I've ever seen.
She just looks like a shoujo protagonist. Like every time I look at her, it's just a shoujo protagonist.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. That one kind of makes me think of like a dot hack slash.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I just don't really know what's going on with her in particular. But the art in the manga looks incredible. I have only read the first chapter so far. For those unfamiliar, I am JLPT N5 certified. So is Jesse.
Yeah.
That's as far as my certification has gone. I'm hoping to take the N4 test this upcoming December.
Oh.
So is Jesse. He found out just now.
Okay, I guess. I actually did want to take the N3, but I'll do the N4.
The N3. You're gonna skip straight to N3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have years of academic study under our belt, and I have slacked off since then. But I have kept myself immersed in the language and culture.
I have recently started talking to some friends in a Dragon Quest centric Discord server about translation and learning more in that regard. So I actually have some people following my endeavors in translating this Dragon Quest 6 manga already.
Oh, wow.
Which is really interesting. So I've after I posted about that, then a lot of people were like, "Okay, sweet. I can't wait to see that when you post pages." And I was like, "Post pages?" So I guess
hey, if you need a typesetter and a page cleaner, I'm right here.
Yo, all right,
Let's do it.
So Jesse and I together are now going to be posting the entire English translated Dragon Quest 6 manga online.
And see, that's why I think you're ready for N3, because I myself have also been talking to online manga translation groups, and you want to know what their standard their standard requirements for entry are?
What?
You have either passed the N3 or you can pass their translation test. Well, they'll generally throw you like a chapter of a manga they've translated themselves to see how accurate your translation is. And let me be honest, like the chapter they threw me was not very hard.
Oh. They threw you like a chapter of Yotsuba, and they'll throw me like a chapter of Death Note. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, check out this one, buddy," and I'm like, What does this mean? What is that supposed to be? Like,
what's this whole bubble katakana?
The defiance of justice? What is So yeah, I don't know where we'll be posting that, I guess, but that's a thing we're doing now.
All right.
I have also been playing Dragon Quest 9.
Yo.
Do you know anything about Dragon Quest 9 in particular?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Nothing.
That's why.
No, absolutely nothing about DQ9.
Also, pardon me, I am getting over a cough. It was not a serious illness of any kind, but I did have a pretty bad cough for a couple of days, and I'm just at the tail end of it. So if you hear coughing occasionally in the episode, my apologies. Dragon Quest 9 is incredibly interesting. If you gave me the description of every single Dragon Quest game 1 through 11 before I started playing them, I would have told you I had probably no interest in 9.
Oh, interesting.
Dragon Quest 9 is a game built on, what would you call it? It's a prototype MMO.
Oh.
But it's also turn-based. So the idea behind combat is, or the idea behind the game is that you build your own party of 4 characters, fully customizable. The customization is not amazing. There's like 8 male and 8 female hairstyles.
Fair enough.
But it's still fun. You know, there's a bunch of different colors you can do with the hairs, a bunch of different facial designs, all look like Goku.
You can make 9 different variants of Goku.
Actually, it's like Goku, Krillin, Goku, and then Puar. Right? Like there's like the 2 like dots, like ovals for eyes and like a smile.
Nice.
I was like, all right, incredible. I have been warned by many people that this game is a very fun game if you play it with other people. So, one of my close friends and I both acquired copies of Dragon Quest 9. You all may have recalled that I acquired my copy a long time ago when I spent way too much money on Dragon Quest video games. And so me and a friend sat down and started playing it together. I think I played like 4 hours so far, and it's a blast, man. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you join each other's worlds, right? Like, or someone joins someone's world, right? And and you play together, but they become a member in your party, but they can explore the world separately from you.
Oh.
There are blue chests and red chests in your game. Red chests are only for the player of that world, but blue chests can be opened by both players. And I don't mean like whoever gets there first. I mean both players get the chest.
Okay.
And they're respawning chests, so it's worth going back and checking them later.
Oh, wow.
This incentivizes people to play with other people. So like if I have opened this chest and my friend has opened this chest, and then a couple months later, I play with another friend who hasn't opened the chest, they can go back and open it.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it really incentivizes exploration in that way. It also has the same level up system as Dragon Quest VII, which you'll probably remember is my favorite in the series.
Yeah.
It's got the class system, but mixed. So it's 7 and 8 mixed together.
Okay.
It's the class system with the skill point system from 8.
Wow.
So you level up classes and you get points to put into skills. And the game incentivizes growth in certain areas by making it so if I'm leveling up, let's say a monk, right?
Yeah.
And monks can use staffs. And I can level up the staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a wizard can also use a staff. So after I max out monk and I put 99 into staff, I can respec into wizard and I keep my 99 in staff.
Yo, that's super cool.
Yeah, so it incentivizes splitting off in different directions, but it also makes you not have to start over from zero if you've grinded up some really good equipment in certain ways, right?
Yeah.
You can just keep changing classes and gaining the abilities from new stuff.
This sounds super rad.
It's really fucking cool. This is all the gameplay of it. The story, which is usually the thing that I'm way more into.
Mm-hmm.
The story is I'm not going to say it's worse, but it's a little more basic. Each scenario in the game, like the islands in Dragon Quest VII, most Dragon Quest games run on a town scenario basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the town scenario basis for this one, they are meant to be played much shorter. They're usually between 30 minutes to an hour per scenario.
Okay.
The idea behind that is that this game was kind of built to be played with your friends on a lunch break or on the train in Japan.
That makes sense.
So, or not even just with your friends, apparently that was a huge culture thing when Dragon Quest IX came out, that there were meeting spots for people to play Dragon Quest IX together.
Wow.
They even had a whole hotel based around it.
What? A hotel?
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
It's pretty nuts. So
we thought Pokemon Go was popping off when that came out.
You know what? There's actually a Dragon Quest version of Pokemon Go that's only available in Japan called Dragon Quest Walk.
Oh my God. Amazing.
I have downloaded it and tried to play it here, but while it is playable, it's also like imagine you can play Pokemon Go in the whole world, right?
Yeah.
But gyms and Pokestops only spawn in Japan.
Oh.
That's what it's like to try to play Dragon Quest Walk here.
Fantastic. That's great. Thanks, Japan.
Yeah. So it's still possible. It's just not nearly as interesting.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But yeah, Dragon Quest IX has been a lot of fun so far, and I'm having a really good time playing it with my friends. So
hell yeah, that's super cool.
I think that's all I have to say for Dragon Quest right now, but don't worry. Dragon Quest is like ingrained in my brain right now. There's nothing I can do about it.
It'll be back. There'll be more.
Which brings us to our next topic. Akira Toriyama.
Which brings us back to the same topic.
There's two things that I'm really into right now, and that's Dragon Quest and Dragon Ball. And it's all Akira Toriyama.
Why has he done this to us?
Now, I know, Jesse, that you want to talk about Super.
Yes.
Is it okay if we talk about Dragon Ball first?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, chronologically, it came first, and you know how I am about that stuff.
Right. Usually we would bounce back and forth on topics, but your topic comes chronologically after mine, so...
So therefore, I am relegated to always fall second. No, I'm just kidding.
Because of this one instance, you will never be first again.
Damn, they've done it to me. They finally overcame.
So, the last time we left off in Dragon Ball, also spoilers for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
And Dragon Ball Super.
In Dragon Ball Super when we get there. And whatever else we talk about.
Yeah. Like we said at the beginning.
So, last time we left off, I was reading Dragon Ball, and Krillin had just died.
Damn.
Now I'm in Dragon Ball Z, and Krillin has just kidding. Actually.
Dude, I was gonna laugh so hard. Wow.
I think I'm just about there. I straight up thought he died a minute ago, but he didn't yet. So I was like, okay. But they're now fighting Frieza.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're getting into it.
Yeah, there's like. I just checked. There's 30 chapters left in the Frieza saga, which means they fight Frieza for the next 30 chapters.
Don't worry, it's not as tedious as it sounds.
Oh man, you tell me that, but I'll have some things to say. But
okay.
I do feel like I should tackle things from where I was at before. because I think it would be unfair to talk about just the arc I'm in right now when I've covered so much ground in the last 2 weeks.
That makes sense.
Also, I think in the last episode, I was like, whoa, at the rate I've been reading this, I might actually be done with Z by the time we record next. It's untrue.
Got him.
I was wrong. So, last time we left off, we were just starting the, Demon King Piccolo saga.
Yeah.
The Demon King Piccolo saga is probably the best saga in Dragon Ball in general for me so far.
Makes sense.
That was an incredible saga. We got, the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi tournament, when we do get to that, is, literally the high point. That tournament is amazing.
It really is. Wow.
The stakes against the Demon King Piccolo were also incredibly high. This is before Piccolo becomes Piccolo Jr., who we see as the Namekian.
Yeah.
He's still a Namekian, but it's just whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
This is a shriveled old man Piccolo.
Shriveled up Demon King.
Honestly, I'm not sure I understand the science behind this yet, but it seems like they're about to get into it where I'm at. So, but of Kami-sama and Piccolo being two entities that came from the same entity. I understand him spitting out the egg that became Piccolo. That's just actually how Namekians reproduce.
Yeah.
So for a long time I was like, oh my god, Piccolo is just the Demon King Piccolo again. But it's no, actually he's literally his son.
Yeah.
But also because the Demon King Piccolo was only half of Kami, then it's not quite his son. It's kind of weird.
We don't need to talk about that. Shh,
It's
okay.
I've been thinking about this a lot. The science here doesn't quite make sense, but I think I'm starting to understand a little bit more. So
yeah.
I remember being really sad about the death of Krillin, and then we get into a lot of the the fighting and whatnot, and then right after. If I'm remembering correctly, because it has been a week and a half since I read this part.
Yeah.
But if I'm remembering correctly, right after he defeats the Demon King Piccolo and he's able to bring Krillin back to life, then he doesn't even get to see Krillin, right? Because he has to go train with Kami immediately after.
Yeah. They bring Krillin back, and then he goes, whoosh, see you later.
See you guys later.
Peace.
The whole fight with the Demon King Piccolo was really intense. The stakes were super high, and I feel like characters died, but I can't remember who because death means almost nothing in the series.
Krillin.
Just Krillin.
To be honest,
Chaozu died too.
Did Chaozu? Oh yeah, Chaozu did die.
Yeah, Chaozu died too. I remember because when he died again later, they made a big deal about him not being able to come back.
Did Tien die?
I don't think so.
I think he just got really beat up.
Yeah.
He used all his energy like he does always. Classic.
Yeah. Also in the manga, even in Z, they exclusively refer to him by full name of Ten Shinhan.
Yeah. He's Ten Shinhan.
Which surprised me that the anime decided to call him Tien.
Yeah.
I was like, why change it though?
I don't know. Ask Akira Toriyama.
Yeah. Why Akira Toriyama? I'm asking you right now.
Why have you done this?
Then we get into the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi tournament. When Goku comes back as an adult, that is some of genuinely one of my favorite moments in the whole series.
Same, absolutely. I loved that moment.
He shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And everyone's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Do you know? I like when I think it was Master Roshi. They asked Master Roshi, "Do you know that guy? Is he friends of yours?"
He's like,
and he's like, "Huh? No,
I don't know that guy." It's especially good because Krillin and Yamcha show up again also.
Mm-hmm.
And Krillin is a little bit taller and Yamcha has long hair again.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yo, check us out, Master Roshi. We've been fucking training, man. Check it out. Don't we look great?" And then Goku's like, "Hey guys, it's great to see you. Wow, you've grown so much." And they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, "It's me, Goku." And they're like, "What?" Goku's 6.5 feet tall now.
Yeah. Oh,
Krillin's like 4'8".
dude, I love how it's on one page too. It's on one page and it's like within 4 panels. Krillin is like to Master Roshi. He's like, "Yo, look, I've gotten taller. I'm bigger now," and he's bigger than Chaozu. And you're like, "Yo, that's cool." And then like 3 panels down, you see Goku standing. It's like a side view of Goku standing there looking at Krillin. And he's like literally twice his height.
Yeah. Dude, Akira Toriyama's paneling is literally the greatest. Like,
It is.
there's no way they could have made that moment. Like, and I don't know this for sure. I didn't watch the anime, but I feel like there's no way they could have made that moment as good.
Like maybe as good, but definitely not better.
Yeah. So the 23rd the tournament.
The strongest under the heavens.
Budokai Tenkaichi tournament is incredible because every single fight in that tournament matters in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's like the epitome of a fight being an interpersonal conversation between 2 characters.
Yeah, I think my favorite fight in the whole thing was Goku versus the mysterious woman.
Yeah.
AKA Chi-Chi. This is like, when I was a kid and I watched some Dragon Ball, I remember him meeting Chi-Chi and going, "Oh, he marries her when he grows up," because I watched Z first, like everyone.
Yeah.
And then, watching Z, I was like, okay, Chi-Chi is Goku's wife. And then I never saw this scene before because I never watched this far into it. But this scene was incredible because I feel like it built Chi-Chi's character so much in just like a few chapters.
100%.
Chi-Chi is like, it's crazy because you see Chi-Chi for 2 chapters as a child, like 3 chapters as in like an 18-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And then you see her as a mom. And most of her characterization comes from her being an annoying mother.
Yeah.
But Akira Toriyama does a really, really good job building up this character for each different point in her life that we see her in a short period of time. We understand that character.
Absolutely. I would agree with that 100%.
She shows up and she's like, "Hey, Goku, do you remember me?" And he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" She's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass." And then she tries. Unfortunately, Goku's the strongest man in the world, literally all the time.
Yeah.
So I like that they're fighting for a while and Goku's like not even trying to hit her or anything, and she's like, "If you beat me, I'll tell you who I am." And he's like, "Oh, why didn't you say that sooner?" And then he like punches her one time.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And then the scene after that where they finally talk about it is also incredible, where she's like, "My father said that you could have my hand." And he was like, "Wasn't he going to feed me food? Isn't that what that meant?" And she's like, "No, it means we're getting married." And he's like, "Oh shit, I guess we're getting married." He just goes with it.
I love it. Like, he doesn't even understand what it means either. He's just like, "Okay, we're married now."
Yeah. And then she's like holding onto his arm while they're walking, and he's like, "Get off of me."
Yeah, dude, I love that so much.
She's like, "This is how couples walk," and he's like, it's hard to walk like this.
Oh gosh.
It's really interesting to me because we spend most of Dragon Ball seeing Goku as a child. And then when we do see Goku as an adult, it's like all he's ever done is train. He's not any more intelligent than he was before.
Yeah.
When we see him as an adult with a child, I feel like his intelligence has grown quite a bit. He's still a himbo. He's the nice, strong guy.
Yeah.
But he feels like, it feels to me like he learned a lot with Chi-Chi. And I thought that was really cute. Like the implications behind that.
I would agree. I would agree for the most part. I do think that's true. I still think for the most part he has no idea what he's doing ever if it doesn't involve fighting.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And I know technically the movies aren't canon, but I think the movies do a really good job displaying that, because there's always some like little like real life thing they do at the beginning. Like there's one where it starts off, Goku has to go to an interview with a school that Gohan's potentially going to go to. And Goku walks in and Chi-Chi's like, "Okay, here's all the lines I've rehearsed for you. You say these. Don't say anything else. Don't do any talking. Let me do talking. If they ask you a question, say one of these lines." And Goku walks in, and immediately the first thing he does is say something really stupid that like puts them all off. He says something about like sensing an alien energy. And Chi-Chi's like, "Oh my God."
It's like, do you remember the first time you met my dad?
Yeah.
And like I remember beforehand, and my dad's really into aliens. And he hadn't talked about aliens with me in months. But before Jesse walked into my house when I was still living with my parents, I was like, hey, just a heads up, my dad might ask you about aliens. Like, he hasn't talked about it in a while, so it's not guaranteed, but he might at some point. And then Jesse walks in, and I was like, Dad, this is Jesse. Jesse, this is my dad. And he's like, hey, nice to meet you, Jesse. Do you believe in aliens? Just like immediately. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go.
It's very accurate.
It's like I couldn't have scripted that better.
So yeah, anyways, Goku definitely Chi-Chi helped him grow a lot. He's still doesn't know anything.
Yeah. So then we get to Z. we get to the parts where it would be Dragon Ball Z. And in the manga I'm reading, it's still called Dragon Ball Z, even though in the official manga it's called Dragon Ball, but Shonen Jump separates it. I think the Shonen Jump app separates it because
Western audiences?
Because of Western audiences, yeah. This has made it very confusing for me because when I read shonen manga, I like to look at a list of arcs so I know what arc I'm in and when I'm getting to the next arc. I know that's not what everybody likes to do. A lot of people just like to read it and then experience it as they're going. Yeah. My brain doesn't work like that. I need to know where the start and stop are. I don't know why.
Fair enough.
It's been made it very confusing because all of the lists have it by chapter of Dragon Ball. So I'm like, okay, this arc ends at chapter 264, which would be like 84 of Z, I think.
Oh no.
So that's what I'm dealing with at the moment. But there are two major sagas that I've experienced so far, and that's the Saiyan saga and the Frieza saga. The Saiyan saga, I didn't like it that much.
Understandable.
Oh, I should talk about, before I get to that, the fight between Piccolo and Goku in the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi tournament. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
Literally one of the best fights in the whole series. I think my favorite part about that is that, like, at one point in the fight, because everybody's just like, we got to kill Piccolo, right? We got to kill Piccolo because he's going to destroy the fucking world. And Goku's like, yeah, I'm going to fight Piccolo. And this is the finals of the tournament. And everybody's like, okay, we're going to step in and help you. And he's like, what? No. I got to win the fight. I want to win the tournament, dude. Like,
I got to be the strongest.
Yeah. How am I going to know if I'm the strongest under the heavens? If you guys help me out. Right. And then, like, there's a point when, like, he goes flying off into the distance and then he, like, flies back into the ring. And he's like, you didn't get a ring out. And they're like, what are you talking about, Goku? Just kill Piccolo. And I really, really like the characterization in that idea behind it, right? Where like this wasn't just about saving the world. He wanted to save the world, but he also wanted to win the tournament. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about the fact that both of the Budokai Tenkaichi tournaments that we faced before this, he got second place in.
Yeah, he did, huh?
So after 2 times in a row of getting second place in the tournament, he was ready to win the tournament and he was not going to let anything stop him. And obviously, like, knowing what happens later, that's part of his, like, the Saiyan ideology, I think.
Yeah, basically.
Which I think is good and bad for several reasons.
Yes.
Now I will talk about the Saiyan saga.
Okay. I do want to say real quick, though, that I love that the culmination of Dragon Ball is both the culmination of Goku's training and him coming back to finally win the Strongest Under the Heavens tournament, as well as the culmination of Ma Jr., you know, the new baby King Piccolo, fully coming up to realize his Demon King power once again, and fighting to conquer the world against Goku, right? Like, it's literally the culmination of everything the entire Dragon Ball series has been up to that point.
Yes, I think that Dragon Ball as a whole, from the beginning, chapter 1 of Dragon Ball, to the end of what we call Dragon Ball before it comes Z, is one of my favorite manga I have ever read. This is going to be ingrained in my brain forever. And while Z is still good. I'm not enjoying it as much as I was enjoying Dragon Ball.
I agree with you on all of those accounts.
There are not many shonens I enjoyed more than regular Dragon Ball.
I can't believe I've done it.
Yeah, I can't believe you've done it either. I've been shitting on Dragon Ball Z for years.
He has, ever since I met this guy.
There was a point in time when I've gotten full circle. When Jesse and I met, I was like, I just don't think I'm into shonen, you know? Shonen's not really my thing. I like to play shonen in fighting games, but not really like watch it, right? And then, you know, I started watching like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, and I got back into some of the older ones, and you know, I really liked Black Clover, and slowly I was like, you know what? I think shonen is actually my favorite genre. I just don't like Dragon Ball, I think. And now here I am liking Dragon Ball. So actually, I'm basic.
You could say that this entire arc, this whole saga of Atoms, has been the Dragon Ball evolution.
Oh no. Dragon Ball Evolution is a movie.
What's that? I've never heard of it.
It is a movie.
I don't think it exists. You're making that up.
You know, a lot of people think it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan because he did the bad Avatar movie.
Yeah.
It's not.
I know.
People are just like, oh, those are both bad live action movies, so he did them both.
Yeah. Did you know that M. Night Shyamalan also directed the Death Note live action movie?
Did he actually?
No.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think so.
That movie, I've heard pretty divisive things about it. Some people are like, yeah, it's really good if you don't give a shit about it being Death Note.
Yeah, everybody I talked to who liked it was like, either I've never seen or read Death Note, or I just pretended it wasn't Death Note.
Yeah, which is fair. It's like just like a fun, shitty movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of Death Note, and I enjoyed the movie, not as a good movie and not as a Death Note movie, but it was an enjoyable piece of media to watch.
Yeah.
I got good laughs.
I'm over the whole you can only enjoy things if they're good thing, you know?
Yeah.
I can enjoy a shitty movie. I just gotta understand that it's a shitty movie while I'm enjoying it, you know?
Yeah. It's like just because it's technically shitty, or the story is shitty, or the acting is shitty, doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. I mean, some of people's favorite media are like B flicks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's whole cults, or not cults, but like cult classic B flick stuff, whatever you want to call that. I don't know.
Communities?
Yeah.
Fandoms?
Yeah.
I love Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts sucks.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, I guess.
Jesse likes Fairy Tail.
That's true.
Fairy Tail sucks.
I'll say it's not the best. I think it's overlooked.
It's not as good as Dragon Ball.
That's true. Not many shonen are.
I would give one shonen the approval of above Dragon Ball.
Kingdom Hearts.
Jujutsu Kaisen. It's Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is incredible. I will say though, I think the hardest thing for any shonen to do though is to stand up to the quality of Dragon Ball over its lifespan, right? Dragon Ball is 190 chapters, right?
Right.
I'd like to see 190 chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen that are in constantly increasing quality, just like Dragon Ball. I mean, I know there's slow parts and there's parts that aren't as good in Dragon Ball, but overall, the entirety of it, the consistency, the build, like, incredible.
Honestly, you're kind of talking about Demon Slayer right now. Demon Slayer's 210 chapters, start to finish. Tells an incredible story. Yeah.
Okay. You know, honestly, I have not read the Demon Slayer manga, but based on the show, I would have to say that I would probably end up putting Demon Slayer right up there with Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I think that I would probably put Dragon Ball a little bit above Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer falls into some really tropey stuff, which is fine. I mean, so does Dragon Ball, but
Dragon Ball's a gag manga.
Yeah,
kind of.
Right.
Eventually, it's not, but
it did.
But
start
it still
that
is.
Yeah. They literally fought a guy by making Master Roshi look at boobs and then have a nosebleed.
Incredible.
And covered him with blood.
I mean, yeah.
so they could see him.
They T-posed on a vampire.
Yeah, the T-pose. This is the same arc. Those happened at the same time.
I love Dragon Ball. I just want everybody to remember that this manga that T-posed on a vampire was written in the 90s.
But Demon Slayer, I imagine you're going to read the manga at some point, and then we're going to have a whole conversation about that. So
I'm
I'll
probably
leave
going to
that.
read it now that we're done.
Yeah. So I'll leave that to you. I also recommend reading Jujutsu Kaisen because holy shit.
Absolutely.
But this is if you want Dragon Ball, read Demon Slayer. If you want Chainsaw Man, read Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. But you should read Jujutsu Kaisen.
Absolutely. And watch it.
Yeah. If Dragon Ball ended at the end of the Demon King Piccolo fight, it would still be the most satisfying shonen I ever read.
100%.
The only thing that would never have gotten explained, and I think this is why we go into this next, right? The only thing that would never have gotten explained is Goku's tail.
I have a really hard time figuring out if Toriyama writes things to explain stuff or if he just makes stuff up as he writes so that the explanation is there.
I think that he made stuff up later to create an explanation for things that already happened, but we will see a massive shift in Toriyama's writing from the end of the Demon King Piccolo saga into the Saiyan saga, where the Saiyan saga forward, everything is very technical. Things are very specific on how they work. We get a lot of explanations for why things are the way they are and the mechanics of the universe.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that.
Well,
just a little warning. I don't want your expectations to be too high.
maybe I just understand it better than you. So, going into the Saiyan saga, the first thing I want to say about the Saiyan saga is the Raditz fight. The stakes, man. One thing that Dragon Ball has been very good about, and I fear for the future after the Frieza arc that I'm in right now, is that so far the climbing stakes have gotten like higher and higher every single fight, from Tao Pai Pai to Demon King Piccolo to Piccolo Jr. to Raditz, right?
Mm-hmm,
and then they fight Raditz, and Raditz, like, they pretty much out the gate tell you Raditz is the weakest of the three Saiyans that are left.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, and then you see him like kick everyone's ass.
Yeah.
I think he literally killed some of the people, right? Did he kill anyone? No. He just killed Goku, actually.
Even he didn't kill Goku.
You're right, Piccolo killed Goku.
Piccolo finally killed Goku.
You know what? Raditz sucks.
The only thing he did was kidnap a child.
Yeah, and he didn't even do that right.
No, the child kicked his ass.
Oh man, I do want to talk about Gohan also, like a lot, because I think Gohan is Goku. And that's well, hear me out. In this post-time skip era of Dragon Ball, when Goku is an adult, they bring in Gohan to be Goku from his childhood, right? He's the new kid Goku.
Basically, yeah, I could agree with that.
And I think they do a really, really good job making him his own character while fitting the same role that Goku did as a child.
Yeah, I think I can mostly agree with that.
And also, like, you know, I think the biggest difference is that Gohan is a lot more emotional, which I think is important for his character, right?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like that because Goku was raised in the forest by himself in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And Gohan was raised by an actual mother, you know?
In a home where food was provided and she wanted him to study all day.
Yeah. Which, like, man, Gohan gets way cooler after that, but
absolutely.
I love his outfit when he first shows up and he's got the hat with the Dragon Ball on it.
Yeah, dude, I love it because it's a throwback and also just because it looks so good. I wish he kept it longer.
I think it was there for an appropriate amount of time, except for maybe the hat. I would like the hat longer, but
I mean, that's fair. I guess I just really like that style of outfit. I would have liked to have seen him in something like that again. Actually, I guess you kind of do. Anyways, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. So.
Fair, yeah. after we start the Saiyan saga and they finally fight Raditz, this is where things just start to drag a little bit. We get the Nappa fight after that. Everybody shows up. Oh, well, first, Goku dies.
Yeah.
Goku has to go revive, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to train with King Kai or King Kaio, depending on the translation.
Yeah.
This is who I remembered as a kid. I was like, when Kami showed up in Dragon Ball, I was like, wasn't he blue? What happened? But this is who I remembered as Kami. So seeing him train on this like tiny planet with Bubbles the monkey, who's the best character, by the way. I like Bubbles the monkey because he's just a monkey named Bubbles.
He's just a monkey.
Yeah. Is he dead? He's not even dead. He doesn't have a halo.
No, he's just a monkey.
Cool. The training with him was really cool, and when he learns the Kaioken, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Which
buddy.
is like they didn't translate it; they just call it the Kaioken. But Kaio is the Lord of the Underworld, there, right?
No, that's Kaio is the one he's training under.
Yeah,
It's Kaio's Ken.
yeah, and Ken is like the way of the fist.
Yeah.
So like, but if you like translate his name to his title, sounds cooler, I think.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Because he's like the Seer of Worlds or something like that.
Yeah.
So Fist of the Seer of the Worlds.
Yeah.
That's way cooler.
Super fucking dope.
But instead we get Kaioken, which is fine.
Yeah, but I mean, you can keep that connotation in mind. When you say Kaioken, just remember that it's the fist of the seer of the universe.
Oh yeah, and I do every time they say anything I don't like the translation of. But I do think that they did it in line with Tenshin Han's move, Taioken, which is Fist of the Sun. Which is the word that Jesse literally never remembers is Taio.
Yeah.
Roughly once a month, I'm like, "Hey Jesse, what does Taio mean?" And he's like, I don't know.
Sun's evil.
Oh Jesus!
Nice.
I meant to. So yeah, there's the Taioken, which makes the light, and then the Kaioken. They didn't explain why you can just shoot, like, make yourself bright, but whatever.
Wait, what do you mean? On which part? The Taioken or the Kaioken?
The Taioken.
Taioken? Because you channel energy.
There's another thing that they didn't explain. At the start of Z, everyone can just fly now.
No, not true. And also, they do explain it.
Mildly.
Well, kind of. So, I mean, originally in Dragon Ball, nobody could fly because everybody's humans.
Right.
And then we got martial arts masters who had mastered Bujutsu, I think it's called, which was basically like the art of flying.
Right. Levitation.
Levitation. Which, who taught Goku how to fly? Somebody taught Goku how to fly.
No, Goku figured it out.
Oh, Goku just figured out how to fly. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
he figured it out during the fight with Piccolo in the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's standard for Goku. Goku just figures things out. That's true. There's no explanation needed there. But everybody else it's like when you got a race of warriors who travel across the universe in spaceships, and they like shoot energy blasts out of their hands. I don't know. You know what? Maybe they don't explain it. I guess I just like, it made sense to me. It's like, yeah, if you shoot energy blasts out of your hand, you can fly.
Here's the thing. Krillin can just fly now.
Dude, I'm pretty sure somebody, I don't know. Maybe you can just fly now.
He probably learned it over the 5 years between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but like they never say that.
No, there's a lot of things they don't teach. I think there's a lot of implication because the thing is, the whole idea of people's ki is based on Chinese mysticism. The idea that you have energy inside yourself. And so it's not so much that they're flying, but it's more that they manipulate the energy, which allows them to move their body through the sky,
Yeah.
And so when we get introduced to ki and channeling ki and sensing ki and controlling your ki, I guess that's why it just makes sense to me. It's like, he can control his ki really well. Krillin's a super strong fighter, and he knows how to control his ki, so he can fly. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense to me too. They just don't explain it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I don't know. I guess I feel like teaching about the ki explains it, but maybe I'm just being presumptuous there. I also grew up with Dragon Ball, so maybe I just like I don't know, flying people. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
I'm
it makes sense to me because I watched this part as a kid.
I'm a little too biased, I guess.
So the fight with Nappa and Vegeta show up right after all this time, and they're way stronger, right?
Mhm.
And Nappa fights first because you never want to lead with the strongest guy, because that's no fun.
Absolutely.
So Nappa fights first, and Nappa like kills everyone basically.
Yeah.
Nappa like Chaozu sacrifices himself and doesn't even kill the thing he's sacrificing himself for.
Yeah. Ooh, that's rough, dude.
Yamcha gets killed by one of the little, what do they call it, Cybermen or something?
Yeah, he gets killed by. Actually, I think it's a bunch of Cybermen that jump on him, right?
No, just one.
Oh yeah, just one jumps on him and blows up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Yamcha dies there. Tien or Tenshin Han, whichever friend of,
Whatever you want to call him.
he just literally like fights so hard he dies.
Yeah. Classic Tenshin Han killing himself.
And in a twist of fate, the only survivor here is Krillin.
Yeah. Oh, and Gohan.
Yeah, and Gohan. Krillin and Gohan are two of my favorite characters in Z so far. Goku comes, and I think Goku shows up and kicks Nappa's ass, right?
Yeah.
And then Vegeta,
Easily.
and then Vegeta's just, and this is a continuing trend that that Goku doesn't finish somebody off, and then Vegeta's like, "Fuck it, I'll do it."
If you won't, I will.
Yeah, and Vegeta's like, or Nappa's like, "Vegeta, spare me. I'll come back stronger. You know that, we're Saiyans." And he's like, "No, you're weak as shit." And he just like throws him in the air and kills him.
Yeah, it just blows him up.
Yeah.
Like, I think in the show they show him shooting an energy blast at Nappa, but I'm pretty sure he actually just like blows him up.
I also saw an energy blast in the one I read.
Oh, was it in the manga?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know sometimes they like use key attacks that aren't energy blast, and people just like blow up and shit.
Yeah, true. And at this point, I'm still enjoying this a lot.
Okay.
And then we get to the Vegeta fight, and the Vegeta fight takes way too fucking long, dude.
It does take a long ass time. I will agree with that. I definitely thought it was going to end a couple of times before it did.
I think the thing is that I don't think the Vegeta fight actually did take too long. I just think that the Raditz fight and then the Nappa fight and then the Vegeta fight all back to back together took too long.
That's understandable.
I was like, dude, just come on. Like,
yeah. I feel like part of the reason the Vegeta fight itself didn't take too long, but I think part of the reason that it all was clumped together and it got dragged out so long is because there were elements that Toriyama probably felt like he needed to explain, which he then did, which then made things take even longer. Like the whole energy orb that Vegeta can create that turns him into a monkey. You're like, wow, how can you do that? I thought it was the moon. And then he's like, well, it's actually the whatever scientific measurement of the light coming off of the moon that hits and it messes with your molecules. And if you create that energy in my hand and I shoot it in the sky, it's the same thing. It's like, wow, that's really cool. Also, can you please just fucking fight him? Jesus Christ.
I did like that part, though. That was pretty cool.
No, I agree. It was definitely awesome, but it did make it take much longer.
True, yeah. Yeah, like Vegeta's on his last legs, and he's like, I gotta transform so we can fight for 4 more chapters. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, here
Thanks,
we go.
dude.
And then Goku spares Vegeta because he
does that.
And Z, he doesn't kill nobody, dude.
Absolutely almost nobody.
I like in Dragon Ball, he like straight up killed Tao Pai Pai, right? Oh, I mean, like he came back later, but
Yeah.
as a fucking robot. But
Robot Tao Pai Pai.
But which, by the way, the fight between Tao Pai Pai and Tenshin Han also fucking incredible.
Very.
This like the culmination of Tenshin Han as a character. I'm so sad that he doesn't matter in Z because he was such a good character.
Yeah, I agree. He was definitely like I think one of the best overall Dragon Ball characters.
Yeah, absolutely. So Goku spares Vegeta, and Vegeta flies away. And from this point forward, Vegeta is a main character. He's still an antagonist at this point, but we get a lot of chapters from his perspective after this.
Yeah.
The Namek saga has been fucking incredible. I
Hell
love
yeah.
that saga very much. So, after the fight with Vegeta, Goku's fucked up. He's so fucked up he has to spend 3 months in the hospital, which for Goku, that's a long
ass
time. Yeah. And as a result, we get an entire arc focused on Krillin, Gohan, Bulma, and Vegeta. These 4 characters on the planet Namek, as we learn more about the Namekians, learn more about the Dragon Balls. It's kind of, again, the classic adventure. It's actually almost exactly a classic Dragon Ball adventure. We've got Bulma, we've got small Goku that's actually Gohan this time. We've got Krillin.
Yeah.
These 3 characters looking for the Dragon Balls. This is Dragon Ball.
They're hopping in a capsule corp vehicle and they're cruising around the planet. And Bulma complains a lot.
She sure does. Bulma is so much less interesting in Dragon Ball Z so far. I really liked Bulma in Dragon Ball. She was, she's a really smart character. Mm-hmm. And that's her whole thing, is that she's like really good at tinkering with objects. And so a lot of the time then when Goku was the dumb strong one, she was the smart one to build the objects they needed in order to actually succeed.
Yeah,
we needed both of the characters. So far in Z, she's like, about as useful as she was in the General Blue arc.
I think I personally think that Bulma is just as useful as she's ever been. It's just everything is outscaling her. It's just like Tenshinhan and Chaozu and Krillin. Everything's just outscaling them. I feel bad for them. Like, Tenshinhan, Chaozu, and Krillin, they're humans, and they can fly and shoot energy blasts. And they're still outclassed by the threats.
Yeah. Oh, man. And this is part of the problem with the idea of the Saiyan, right? Mm-hmm. We finally learn about Goku's origins. And we learned that he's an alien, and that's very interesting. Except for I don't like the idea, and they've done it really well with Vegeta so far, but I don't like it with Goku in particular. I guess is that when a Saiyan is beaten within an inch of their life, and then they recover, they come back a lot stronger. Mm-hmm. That's just part of their genetics, right? I don't know the science behind it, but they like reform in a way that they are stronger than they were before.
I like to imagine that, you know how when we get hurt, our cells will heal us, but it's always worse than it originally was. I like to imagine it's the opposite for them. Their cells make whatever area they repair stronger than it was before.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, I agree with that. I think that is how it works. It also makes Goku as a character a lot less interesting, because it felt before, it's like, this is why I don't prefer Chosen One stories. I like the everyman who chooses to get stronger, as opposed to the Chosen One who has always meant to be the savior,
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's why, like, I have not gotten to where Goku becomes a Super Saiyan yet. And I only know what a Super Saiyan is from my childhood. So I don't really remember the exact logistics, but there's a while here where Vegeta's like, am I the Super Saiyan? Is he the Super Saiyan? Which one of us is the Super Saiyan? And obviously I know that they're both the Super Saiyan, because
everyone's the Super Saiyan.
Yeah, every Saiyan currently alive has become Super Saiyan, including Broly, I think.
Well, technically Broly is the legendary Super Saiyan.
He is.
He is what Vegeta refers to as the legendary Super Saiyan is actually what Broly is.
And that's true in the canon movie?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I can't remember very much from that, so.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I plan to rewatch it once I get there, because when I watched it in theaters with you, I had like no context. I hadn't watched Dragon Ball Z in 20 years. I was just like, "Oh, new movie, let's go."
I definitely did not watch that in theaters with you.
You didn't?
No, I watched it at home with my wife.
Dude, I watched it in theaters with someone.
Hell yeah. I wish I'd seen it in theaters.
It was a good time, dude. I wish I saw Battle of Gods in theaters.
That was a good time, especially because, oh man, I'm definitely not going to jump into this nostalgia rabbit hole, but like, I grew up again with Dragon Ball Z, and that was like the first movie in like a fucking decade or some shit.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, that was crazy. Anyways.
Namek is really good. I really like it. Gohan is such a good character. I love his relationship with Piccolo also, right? Because like Piccolo in Dragon Ball was this evil entity. But then when we get into Z and he trains with Piccolo, right?
Yeah.
And then and Piccolo's an asshole to him.
Absolutely.
But he walks away like at the end of that, like right before Piccolo dies, right? Mm-hmm. He was like basically like, "Thank you, Gohan. No one else has ever treated me like a person before."
No.
I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, he just wanted a friend."
He just wanted a friend this whole time.
Oh God.
Man. If you think about it too, and you think about Oh yeah, because you're at Namek, so you know about Demon King Piccolo's spaceship, right?
Yes.
So if you think about that, the whole story of Piccolo is that he was cast from his homeworld, from his people, and abandoned as like a baby child on a foreign world thousands of miles away, all by
that's
himself.
really interesting. I think I remember that from a different character as well.
I wonder who that was.
So at this point, when we do learn about that, it creates this idea that hammers home even more that you should have read Dragon Ball because
Yeah, absolutely.
because Piccolo and Goku were the same character. They were put in the same situation, but also like Goku landed on the planet looking basically human, you know?
Yeah.
And Piccolo landed on the planet looking like a completely different race.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that entirely changed how they were treated on the planet.
Absolutely, And another thing I find interesting is they mention multiple times Namekians are inherently good people. They inherently do not possess evil. And they say that Piccolo was an exception to this rule and he grew evil in his heart, and that's why he split himself into Kami and the Demon King Piccolo. And I got to thinking the only difference between Piccolo and the rest of the Namekians is that Piccolo was on Earth.
Yeah.
So clearly Earth fucked Piccolo up. Damn, Earth's done it to him.
Now, there's a character that gets introduced in this arc who I don't understand yet, and this is Nail. Nail and Piccolo are almost identical in look.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that to be true, but they hammer it really hard in the manga, so I guess it's supposed to be true.
Yeah.
One thing I want to praise Akira Toriyama for in general is that he made the Namekians all look very different. Every single Namekian we see is as different as all of the humans we see.
Right? Like when they say a Namekian's name, you know exactly which Namekian they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really interesting to me because most creators who draw aliens draw most of them to look the same.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is too, like at the initial glance, you could say that all the Namekians look the same because they're green, bald, antennas, they got those weird like thingies on their arm, whatever that is. They all wear the same clothes, yet each one of them is completely distinct.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I really appreciate that. Except for Piccolo and Nail, who look the same. This is clearly supposed to be the case because I'm not sure what the connection is. And I distinctly remember a part from my childhood where Piccolo and Kami become one again. I remember that. I don't know when that happens. I assume somewhere in the Cell Saga or after this. I don't know. But right now, him and Nail became one. And I don't know if that's a thing that just Namekians can do, just absorb each other's power or something. I feel like that's not a normal thing you can just do, because if it was the normal thing you could just do, then they could just assimilate all into one being and then kick Frieza's ass. So
I'm gonna present two things to you, because I believe at this point you've learned both of these things since you've seen Piccolo and Nail fuse. And there's two things they give us that I think are really important about that. The first thing is that all Namekians come from the same Namekian.
Yes.
Every Namekian comes. So all Namekians are basically the same being, essentially, is what they boil it down to. And the second thing is, Nail is one of the few survivors of the Dragon Clan, the ultimate warrior clan of Namekians.
Oh.
And he looks, according to them, exactly like Piccolo. And Piccolo doesn't know his heritage.
But Piccolo also, we have been told he is also from the Dragon Clan because he can make the Dragon Balls.
Exactly.
So that's interesting. Okay.
So I believe it has something to do with them being like, amorphous life forms and being from the same warrior clan whose purpose is to become stronger and defend the people.
Okay. I absolutely missed the part where Nail was also from that clan.
Oh, that's totally fair.
A
lot happens.
They did specifically say that most Namekians had that same parent.
That's true. Yeah. It's actually, I guess what they said was that this generation of Namekians all came from the same Grand Elder, because there's always a Grand Elder that becomes like the birther of Namekians.
It's like the queen.
Yeah.
Like a beehive.
Exactly.
I did really enjoy the conversation between Bulma and Dende, where Bulma was like, "Where are all your women?"
Oh.
Dende's like, "What?" She's like the girl Namekians or the girl Namekians, and he's like, "What's a girl?"
Yeah.
We're just Namekians. She's like, "How do you reproduce?" And he's like, "We just spit eggs out."
Oh.
And it was at that point that I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, so Piccolo's actually just like the child of the Demon King."
Yeah. Yeah, he's literally Ma Jr.
Somebody did point out to me that at the time that he spit the egg out, he also had a giant hole through his chest, so we're not sure where the egg was stored. But
yeah, well, you know, fucking aliens and shit. Am I right?
It was in his throat. I don't know. Dragon Ball Z is incredibly savage. Characters dying is often either very sudden or very brutal.
Yes.
I wrote this note before I saw some of the deaths I just saw. For instance, the Ginyu Force shows up, and then the little green man, they just cut his head off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a part where Frieza just like straight up shoves his arm through a Namekian's chest, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
At this point, I would like to say that I had to fight very, very hard against my brain's primal urges, where my brain, at its core, wants to experience everything from the source material. If something is based off of a manga, I'd rather be reading the manga. If something is based off of a light novel, I'd rather be reading the light novel.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that the Frieza saga was available entirely in color, I was very conflicted.
Oh, that's tough.
Because I was like, if I read this, I'm betraying Akira Toriyama. Which is obviously not true. He probably does not give a shit.
Yeah.
I did decide to read in color. There's a few reasons I decided to do this. First of all, it's very rare to find manga in color, so I like to read it when I can.
That's fair.
And then the other thing is... there's a lot of colors I just like, especially in Namek and stuff. There was just colors for people I didn't know what color they were supposed to be.
Oh, that's fair. I remembered Namek very well from the anime, so the whole time I was reading it, I just was like imagining everybody with their colors.
Yeah, so I wanted to read that one in color. They also have the Saiyan Saga available in color, but I didn't realize that until after I finished it.
That's fair. I gotta be honest, Saiyan Saga, not a lot of colors. Some browns, some blacks, some browns.
That's
Goku's
true.
orange gi.
You're right.
Namek, a lot more colors.
Yeah. You know what's funny is the people on Namek would probably like think the opposite, right?
Yeah, true.
They see the Earth colors and be like, "Oh, it's so colorful." It's not just green and purple everywhere. The Ginyu Force is really interesting.
That's a word for him.
I don't know how they're portrayed in the anime, but in the manga, they have been given like surfer bro voices.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say that they like necessarily speak with surfer bro voices, but they also kind of talk like that.
They often were translated saying dude and shot.
Whoa, definitely not in my translation.
Like shot, bro.
I know that Jace talks like that to Birder, but
Whoa, these names are not the same as mine.
okay, to be fair, I'm remembering their names from the anime.
Okay, I think who you said Birder for me was Butta.
Oh yeah, Butter. Yeah.
Because it's butter.
In the anime they translate it as Birder. And so the Namek saga in all the games and the anime are probably the most prolific saga. Like literally every single Dragon Ball Z game ever has the Namek saga, unlike, maybe all of the Cell saga or the Buu saga, or sometimes they even skip the Saiyan saga in the games.
Right, yeah.
But they always have the Namek saga, and they always translated it as Jace and Birder. So that's all I know. That's what they are in my brain.
Which one is Jace? Describe their look.
He's the short dude with the long hair. Oh, you read it in color. He's red. He should be red.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
His name is spelled Jheese.
Jheese.
I was reading
geez.
it as G's. I assumed it was a play on cheese.
Yeah. I believe so. Butter and cheese.
Yeah.
But they call him Birder and Jace in the anime.
Oh my god, they're all dairy
Yeah.
products.
Yeah, they're all Dairy products.
The human looking one with the like
Raccoon.
yeah, Raccoon is the rearranged characters for Kurimu,
Yeah.
which is the Japanese pronunciation of cream.
Mm-hmm.
So cream, butter, cheese. What are the other two?
Ginyu.
Oh yeah.
Ginyu.
Oh, Nyugyu. It's
Nyugyu.
milk.
Yeah.
What's the short green guy's name?
Wow. What the fuck is that guy's name?
He lasts like one chapter.
Yeah. What an unimportant guy. Remember when Chaozu's psychic powers like dominated Goku and Krillin?
Yeah.
And then they show up and they're like, psychic powers. Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Ginyu's ability to trade bodies was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I've always liked that concept.
I was really worried because one of my favorite things for a piece of media to do is to show me a few strong guys that we're going to fight at some point, you know, and then like hype them up, right?
Yeah.
We did that already in the Frieza saga with his two commanders, Dodorian, who's supposed to be a durian.
Yeah.
And what's the other guy's name? The flamboyant dude?
Zarbon. Is
Zarbon.
what I know him by.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
But we already got that, and they already died. And so I was like, oh, dude, next is Frieza. And then the Ginyu Force shows up, and I was like, all right, here we go.
Who now?
30 more chapters to pad out. Let's do it. So I was surprised to find that those fights were enjoyable. I enjoyed them quite a bit.
Nice. That's good. I'm glad you did.
Yeah. They are pretty much like you could skip all of those and the story is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I do want to say that I do remember Nail being more prevalent in maybe the Cell Saga. Dude, there's some events that happen that I'm like not sure when they fucking happen. Because
that's fair.
Like, I mean, the fact that it took this long for Piccolo to come back to life, right? I was like, where the fuck is Piccolo? I do think that Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and Goku are probably my 4 favorite characters.
That's fair. Yeah. Seems about right.
We get to the part when they finally collect all 7 Dragon Balls with Dende so that they can make the wish. And this was like, the stuff leading up to this is like some of the tensest this manga has been. My heart is literally pounding while I'm reading these chapters, right? I'm like, holy shit, what's going to happen? And I don't remember any of this from when I was a kid. Anyway, they finally summon, what's his name? Like, I want to say Pagoda, which is incorrect.
Pagoda. Oh, dude, I just said that like the last episode.
Yeah, it starts
Purunga.
Purunga, yeah.
Purunga. Yeah.
Dude, Purunga looks fucking awesome.
Dude, he's a jacked ass Shenlong.
Yeah. I don't know why. I remembered him being fat for some reason. He is not.
No.
Is there a fat dragon at some point?
No.
Okay, cool.
I mean, there are fat dragons, but not like Dragon Ball dragons.
Okay. Yeah, he looks fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
And he gives 3 wishes because he's a G.
Yeah, he's a straight up lad.
And like, you know, Piccolo jumps in and he's like, give me the wish, give me the wish, give me the wish.
Yeah.
So they spend their first 2 wishes. And I feel like the big thing here is they were just trying, the most important thing is like, they wanted to bring everybody back, which they can do by bringing Piccolo back because they can get the Dragon Balls back, right?
Yeah.
But the most important thing to do here was to make sure that Vegeta and Frieza did not get a wish.
Yeah.
And they get their first 2 wishes, and I'm like, holy shit, Vegeta's here. What's the 3rd wish going to be? And I was like, does Vegeta get eternal life? Like, is that a thing that actually happens?
Is that why he's still around?
It's like, because, like, again, I don't remember a whole lot. I'm like, he genuinely could.
Fair enough.
And then fucking the Elder Namekian dies at that moment. And just oh my God, dude. My mind was fucking blown. I was like, oh, they did it. And that's when Frieza shows up. And he's like, you little bitches.
I have some fucking words for you guys.
He gets out of his high chair. And then he's like, you know, they're like, Frieza's got another form. And I was like, yeah, here it comes. He's like, okay, my new form coming up. And then he just gets fucking huge.
Yeah, dude. I love that Frieza form.
I was like, that's the Frieza what happened. He's like, he looks like a fridge, dude. Like,
he's fucking built.
He changed from freezer to fridge.
Oh, dude. I love that form in fighting games because one of his special moves was always to just like impale people with his horns.
Yeah, that's what he did to Krillin, like immediately. That's when I was like, oh, dude, Krillin's dead again. But no, Senzu Beans coming in clutch.
Senzu Beans always there for him.
Oh, wait, no, the Senzu Beans happened earlier. It was Dende healed him.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know why Dende can do that, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Namekian magic.
I'm sure we'll find out. The Namekians are really cool. It's honestly crazy to me how intertwined the Namekians are with Dragon Ball in general. With the idea of like the Dragon Balls in the first place being connected to Piccolo. You know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Just like actually the parallels between, I understand that Vegeta is supposed to be the foil to Goku, but Piccolo like is also the foil to Goku, and in so many more ways, in my opinion.
Honestly, I agree. Like, I think Piccolo's like got to be the main man. Like, you know, everybody thinks of Goku, Vegeta, and the Saiyans, right? But like, Namekians are actually the most important race in the whole series.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are straight up like there's literally no race more important than the Namekians.
And the thing is that again, with Piccolo being sent as a child on the ship, the same as Goku, and then being the reason that the Dragon Balls existed, Piccolo is the reason that Goku went on his adventure in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like everything is Piccolo and Goku.
Yep.
This is nuts, dude.
It's crazy,
I
right?
really like
Isn't
this.
it wild?
Yeah, it's good.
Damn,
it's
dude.
good stuff.
Like we can joke on Akira Toriyama for forgetting stuff about his stories and all that, but like he still somehow wrote like the most full circle connected, well planned out manga of all time.
Yeah, and then he kept going.
And then he kept going.
That was like at the end of the Piccolo saga, I was like, they could literally end it right here and I'd be satisfied. And then the end of the Saiyan saga, I was like, they could literally end it right here and I'd be satisfied. And I have a feeling I'll be saying the exact same thing at the end of the Frieza saga.
Yeah. Which, fun note for anybody who didn't know, it actually was originally intended to be ended after the Frieza saga.
Well, it was originally intended to be ended after the Piccolo saga, I think, and then they were like, okay, write it in a way that it keeps going, and he was like, okay.
Yeah, and then he intended to end it after the Frieza saga.
Yeah. And then he intended to end it after the Buu saga.
And then somebody else wrote the next one.
All right, and I think that's like all of my oh, no, one more. Sorry. Fuck. The last thing I want to say about Dragon Ball is I want to talk about the power scaling system because this shit is bananas.
Yes.
BANANAS. So this is like just how quickly the scaling has gone. Like they already jumped the shark with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for anybody unfamiliar with the term jumping the shark, then it happens. It's the idea that stakes continue to get escalated and more ridiculous to the point where I think it was originally in Happy Days where Fonzie literally jumped over a shark in a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And so it's the idea that things keep getting more and more ridiculous until you end up with this ridiculous thing. The jumping of the shark here happens with the power scaling going from, oh, your power's at 100? That's actually pretty strong. Oh, your power's over 9,000? Oh my God, you're like the strongest thing in the universe. And then mere, like, not even 100 chapters later, we get to Frieza, and Frieza's like, I have a power scaling of 530,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Why was Vegeta surprised about Goku's power? Well, I guess probably because he was like a clown ass Saiyan, in Vegeta's own words, but.
But, like, you know, even the like 5,000 that Goku shows up with, like that's what they think his power is when he's fighting the Ginyu Force, right?
Yeah.
5,000 was really fucking strong when they were still on Earth.
Yeah.
And
very.
And all of a sudden, like, I don't think Raditz was 5,000.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And now they're like, oh, 20,000 or nothing, you know, 50,000 or nothing. And then Frieza comes in and he's like, in this form, I'd be over 1 million if you could literally register that on a scouter. And I'm like, what? You're trying to tell me there's more bad guys after this that they have to fight that they're not strong enough to fight?
See, you know, yes. And you know, there's big jokes about it, and don't worry, I shit on the power scaling too, but as I've read through Super, I've realized something very important, and it's that I think Scouter power levels were supposed to be a joke in the first place.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the idea of the Scouter, it would be like trying to judge a martial artist at first glance. I feel like that maybe that was Akira Toriyama's idea with the Scouter, right? Because when have the Scouters ever mattered? When were the Scouters ever correct? When did the Scouters do anything that's helped anybody in any fight, right?
They found the Dragon Balls on Namek with them?
That's true. They did do that. But a fighter shows up, like Goku shows up, and they're like, his power level's weak, and then he kicks their ass. It's like, what has the Scouter done for you? Right? it's like looking at this little tiny dude and going, you're a small little martial artist, and then he kicks your ass, you know?
Yeah, true.
And as we get into Super, something I found that's very interesting is that power level stops becoming important, and you'll run into the Cell Saga too, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's basically a point where one of the very powerful fighters goes, I could use a form right now that has a much stronger power level, but it would make me weaker in this fight.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And like you were talking about with the stakes too, the stakes continue to get higher and higher and higher, but somehow Akira Toriyama, like, it always makes sense, I guess. Like, the stakes get high, but you never don't believe it, if that makes sense. Like, it's never, like, I thought we'd run into the problem where we're like, oh, they already fought somebody who blew up planet Earth. Who are they going to fight that's stronger? And then the next person they fight is stronger, but he like changes the way they're stronger. I'm trying to not spoil anything. It's making this hard, but
I appreciate it.
But like power levels become unimportant and people fight using other things other than just raw power. Same with the villain scaling. They become more dangerous than the last, but not just because they can blow everything up.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm down.
It's very exciting. Like,
yeah.
I'm shocked with how capable he has I'm shocked at how capable he is of power scaling everybody into the fucking cosmos, and still it all seems reasonable to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm down. At this point, while talking about Scouters, I do remember something that at one point I got this because I had an opportunity to.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I think it's probably one of the coolest things I own. So I'm going to show this to you. I'll post this on Twitter later too.
Okay.
I'm going to stand up out of my chair real quick.
Whoa. He's standing.
I don't know if I've showed you this before, but where is it at? A few years ago, I had the opportunity to meet with one of the English voice actors for Goku.
Yo.
And I got him to sign a Scouter.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
So I actually own a Scouter signed by Kirby Morrow.
Dude.
Not only was Kirby Morrow one of the English voice actors for Goku, he also passed away a couple years ago, very tragically.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, yeah, it was just very sad. So it's a really cool thing that I own.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. And you got all of that before you were ever interested in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I just had an opportunity. I was like, sure.
Wow. That's wild. That's amazing.
This is I like not even close to the same thing, but I did purchase the 3DS copies of Dragon Quest VII and Dragon Quest VIII many years ago with the expectation that I might eventually get into Dragon Quest. And those games are like $100 or more now.
Oh my god.
I got them for like $20.
Good thing you bought it back then.
Yeah,
Damn.
so I don't know. I think that I subconsciously just know the things that I'll probably like. So sometimes I just get stuff thinking, yeah, I might get into that someday.
That's crazy, dude. I'm impressed.
Don't be. It's just luck.
Maxed out his luck stat.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll post a picture of that on Twitter later as well. I got 3 pictures to post. It's pretty cool.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, and that is officially all I have to say about Dragon Ball Z right now.
Now, speaking of Dragon Ball,
this brings us into our next section, where Jez is going to talk about Dragon Ball Super.
Don't worry, everybody. I'm probably going to keep it short. There's a lot of cool stuff I don't want to spoil for Adam, so I'm just going to probably loosely talk about some things, I guess.
Can I actually start here?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Please do.
There's some information that I found out about Super that I thought was really interesting and very frustrating.
Okay.
And it's concerning the canon of Super.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So Super, in no form, is written by Akira Toriyama.
Okay.
It's a common misconception that he does write it because he helps with the writing of it.
Okay.
But what he does. And this was a big thing back when the anime was running as well, because the manga and the anime started at the same time. So it's not that the anime is based off of the manga.
Yeah.
And so basically what happens is Akira Toriyama writes notes on the story that he wants to happen. He then hands those notes to the animation studio and the mangaka that run those respective things. And so they create the story that Akira Toriyama has envisioned, but in their way that they're doing it.
I see.
This has created a situation where technically neither the anime nor the manga is canon, but in fact, the things that are canon is everything that occurs in both things.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
That means Resurrection F is not canon.
Resurrection F, the movie, is canon because that was written by Akira Toriyama.
Thanks, Akira Toriyama.
So this is a very interesting situation.
Oh, boy.
So in order to find out what's canon to the manga, you actually have to exactly compare it to the anime to find out what any scene that occurred in one of those things and not both is technically non-canon.
This is the worst.
However, I'm just going to read the manga.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh. I'm going to start this off with a little bit of a flashback. Before I read Dragon Ball Super, I said that I watched a couple episodes of the anime and Battle of the Gods movie, and Battle of the Gods movie was good, and I hated the anime, and I thought it was the worst Dragon Ball product created. And I still don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment, but I have been loving the manga very much.
Hell yeah.
I have greatly enjoyed the manga for my own reasons, I guess. I don't know. I mean, everybody has their own reasons for enjoying the thing, but there's you could read or watch Super as the follow-up to Z. You know, you could watch it as the continuing story of Goku and the squad. And if that's the case, then I think it's hot garbage. But if you want more Dragon Ball lore, if you want more Dragon Ball Z stuff to happen, if you want more Dragon Ball stuff to happen, if you want cool throwbacks and you want cool juxtapositions and like really interesting dynamic ways of using literary devices to create new characters and interesting situations, it's actually really incredible, the things they do, you know, because a lot of Super so far has been based on the idea of multiple universes existing, basically like maybe multiverse theory, I guess you could say.
Which is honestly like the next logical step, because Goku became the strongest in the world and then became the strongest in the universe. Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Fight multiple universes.
Exactly. So, you know, it is, and like I said too, and like it scales exponentially, you know? It still makes sense though, everything that happens, right? And another interesting thing about it too is that the multiverse in this series exists in two separate ways. There's actually just multiple universes simultaneously existing at the same time that you can cross over into. There's also different timelines, which are not in any way represented by the different universes. In fact, each universe can have its own branching timelines that don't in any way relate to its parallel universe's branching timelines.
Okay, interesting.
So, you know how we have Future Trunks in Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
We still have Future Trunks. That's not another universe. So Universe 7 is the universe that Dragon Ball Z, and all that takes place in.
Right.
So Future Trunks is a timeline in Universe 7.
Oh, interesting.
As far as we know, the Future Trunks timeline that exists in Universe 7 does not exist in any of the other universes.
Okay.
So he is a timeline exclusive to their universe.
So, and that's why we get things like Caulifla and I forget the other one.
Kale.
Yeah.
And there's also a dude, and I forget his name.
Vegito.
No.
I said
he
that
looks
as a
like
joke.
Vegito.
I said that as just a joke and then remembered that's a real character.
Yeah, Vegito is in fact a real character.
Fuck.
Yeah. So actually, Dragon Ball Super is just the most fascinating thing ever, I think. And part of what really fascinates me is that there is a lot of non-canon movies from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, which I always thought had really cool concepts. And, I guess Super isn't necessarily canon in every aspect either, but I feel like almost every concept I thought was cool from Dragon Ball Z movies that were not canon have been brought into Super in a way that maybe they are canon now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like the ideas of like Bardock's brother, the Tree of the Life of Might, the legendary Super Saiyan, the fact that we have multiple universes and multiple timelines in each universe has basically made it possible for them to make anything canon.
Okay.
And so I found it really fascinating, really cool, and on top of that, Akiriyama, I said it again.
Oh my God.
And on top of that, Akira Toriyama just designs really cool characters, and I love watching these really cool characters have really cool fights in multiverses.
Okay. So where does the Goku Black part take place?
That happens in the Future Trunks timeline.
And that happens before or after the tournament?
That happens after the Universe 7, Universe 6 tournament, but before the Universal Battle Royale tournament.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And that's another thing to mention too, is that each universe has like its parallel universe. So Universe 6 and Universe 7 are parallel universes, and Universe 1 and Universe 12 are parallel universes, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So similar things happen between the two. And so I don't want to spoil too much, but the Goku Black thing is not only a Future Trunks timeline issue, but it's also a multi-universe issue.
Interesting.
It's fucking wild.
Oh,
and it's
dude,
so
that's
fucking cool.
Yeah, that excites me.
Goku Black arc might be like story-wise one of the coolest, like considering Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super. The Goku Black arc, everything including around that, might be one of the coolest stories in Dragon Ball history. It might be it's definitely in my top 3.
Okay, sweet.
It's fucking incredible.
Is it better than the Demon King Piccolo arc in Dragon Ball?
Probably not, but it gets up there.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Just because of the fact that the Demon King Piccolo arc has, like we talked about, so much circling back earlier from the entire story.
Yeah, it's like the culmination of a lot of things.
Yeah. Goku Black is not necessarily that, but it does rope a lot of things in together.
I have been told that in Dragon Ball Super, each arc is pretty segmented from other arcs. So
you can definitely tell when you're done with an arc and going into a new one.
I don't.
It's like hard
that.
stop.
That's One Piece does that too,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't dislike that.
It's not bad. I don't think it's bad. Definitely.
As long as they build their character development and stuff correctly, which they may or may not.
To be honest, it feels more like a bunch of stories, right? Like when the Goku Black arc started, I was like, this is the start of Goku Black. And when it was over, I was like, and that's the end. Hell yeah. And then the next story started. And I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I don't dislike that. I've heard it stated as a negative, but I think that's fine actually.
Yeah.
It's not as good as how they did it in Dragon Ball, where it kind of like seamlessly one story went into another, but
yeah.
It's still fine.
Like I said, if you're looking for like the next thing in the Dragon Ball story, I think it's garbage. But if you're looking for really cool Dragon Ball stories, it's pretty fucking dope.
Apparently, there's also a spin-off that I don't know anything about, but it's called Dragon Ball Heroes, I think.
I think it's just coming out. I think it's like brand new.
It's the anime's brand new. The manga is like a couple dozen chapters in, I think.
I don't know how any of this works.
I have no idea. But that might be worth considering once you finish Dragon Ball Super. We're kind of like, we're all in at this point, right?
Dude,
like we have to, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to read Jocko.
I'm not going to do that.
It's 15 chapters of Jocko.
Maybe I'll do that after I'm done with everything else.
Does Arale show up at all in the
Who?
Dragon Ball?
I don't know who you're talking about.
She's the main character of Dr. Slump.
Oh, Arale. Oh, no.
Sad.
I know. Agreed.
I was thinking about it. I was like, man, it'd be cool if like Arale just showed up as like one of the people fighting in the tournament.
Though there is one universe that shows up to the Universal Battle Royale, and their characters look like they're from the Dr. Slump Island. I was like, are these Dr. Slump characters?
Dude, when I finish Dr. Slump, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I want to talk about Jiren for a second.
Please.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Is he an alternate Frieza?
No.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is an alternate Frieza, though. I'll let you know that.
Oh shit, nice. Is it Jocko?
No.
Okay.
I would disown this manga if it was.
Jocko kind of looks like Frieza. So.
Oh, no.
All right. That's all my questions.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about Super.
I'll try to speed read to catch up to you, man. Like, it's not going to happen, but you're a way faster reader than I am, but I'll try.
No problem, homie. I'll get to the end of Super anyways, and, then I can't read anymore anyways, so.
Yeah. And then we're going to watch GT, right?
Hell yeah, we're going to watch GT.
Cool.
Oh, this is one more thing I want to say, too, to people. People trash on GT. I'm going to stick by the idea that I think GT is much more like Dragon Ball. So if you like Dragon Ball, you like GT. And I think if you like Dragon Ball Z, you probably like Super, which makes sense in regards to everybody I've talked to who likes those series. That's usually how it works out.
I watched some clips that reminded me that Pam sucks really bad. Or Pan?
Pan?
Pan, yeah, sucks really bad in GT, that she's kind of just treated as a damsel constantly.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I would say that Pan is the Bulma, kind of.
Okay. That's unfortunate because she's a Saiyan.
Yeah, it's a weird mixture because Trunks is a half Saiyan, and you would think he'd be the Bulma role, but he's more like, I don't know, maybe he's like a... Actually, I don't even know what role. Trunks is just Trunks. Damn, dude, Trunks is always just Trunks.
He's Krillin.
Trunks is absolutely not.
Dude, Krillin, honestly, like, I think one of the best written characters.
Oh, 100%. I think so, too.
I forgot to say that in my segment earlier, but, like, so we'll just slap it in here, I guess. But Krillin, genuinely, like, from seeing his growth from the beginning of Dragon Ball all the way through the Namek saga, where he is nowhere near as strong as any of the people here, and he's doing his fucking best.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I think Krillin might be one of the most well-written characters in a shonen. Like, he has so much character growth over the whole series, it's incredible.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if you just watch Z, all you see is him being a scared bitch, right? Yeah. And that's fair. But if you were with him from the beginning, like, he did a lot of cool shit, and all of the sudden he's very outclassed, right?
Yeah, it's understandable that he's scared. He used to be one of the world's strongest fighters, and then a dude shows up and he's like, I can blow up your fucking planet. I'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so this man travels to another planet where he knows he's outmatched by like 100 full,
and he's literally surrounded by aliens.
Yeah, and he's still doing his best to keep up,
What an absolute mad lad, dude.
And everyone's like, oh, look at Krillin, he's such a bitch. And he's like, yeah, he's shaking in his boots, but he's still fucking here.
Yeah, like, he's there though. I mean, like, dude, he's within, like, from the moment Frieza shows up, Krillin is like almost always within like 50 feet of Frieza.
Yeah.
Bruh. He's got balls of steel, dude.
He got stabbed by Frieza. He's still fighting.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Anyways, that's my take on Krillin. I think he's great.
Yeah, Krillin's amazing. And I'm going to end up my Super segment by saying that I think Super has incredible character design and awesome things that happen. And I think GT is a homage to Dragon Ball and overall has a great storyline.
Hell yeah.
I think that they can exist simultaneously as two parallel non-canon follow-ups to Dragon Ball Z.
First up, we got Orient, episode 12, the season finale.
You mean the setup episode?
This was not the season finale. Episode 11 was the season finale. This was the start of the next season.
Why anime has been anime for decades? Why can't they figure their shit out?
Like, I get it. Like, you have 12 episodes for your core, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would do this one, even though it leads into the next core. From a realistic standpoint, this is an 11 core and 13 core season.
Yeah.
Because this is getting season 2 was announced for summer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, which is 3 months from now.
Yeah.
So it's actually just a second core. But I think they're calling it season 2 this time.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what just makes people decide if it's a second core or a second season.
I don't know anymore. It doesn't make any sense. It's pointless. We had all these titles to like differentiate seasons and stuff, and now they just don't mean anything.
They literally don't mean anything.
It's literally pointless.
Attack on Titan just got announced for a third core, which is something I've fucking unheard of. A third core for one season.
Especially for a season that they called the final season.
Oh yeah, this one's being called Attack on Titan, the final season, the final arc.
I hate you, Japan.
Cue the Joseph Joestar. I'll never forgive the Japanese.
His words ring true and strong.
This episode was like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was pretty out of it for this episode. I was like only somewhat paying attention because the whole time I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the rest of the show, and
Yeah.
and this is like we already ended.
Yeah, it was done. It was over. It wrapped up.
Some noteworthy things to point out was they introduced a love interest for Musashi. I thought that was a really funny moment where he was like, "Oh, thank God, it's not just MILFs."
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I'm normal. Nice."
Kojiro has continued to do nothing. Like I feel like this guy has actually done nothing so far.
Yes.
I really liked the scene when they were on the motorcycle and they got it pretty good when they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna let go," and he's like, "Yeah, don't let go. Oh, I'm so scared." And then he's like, "You guys can actually let go though. Like, that's a joke." And he turns around and the monster's like got them both, and it's got the hands on the back of the motorcycle. That was like actually very funny. I really liked it.
Yeah, I appreciated that a lot. It might have been like one of the best scenes in the
It
series.
felt like a Dragon Ball gag.
Whoa.
Tsubame, I liked the bits where she got jealous about him liking that girl.
Me too, yeah.
But it kind of felt like she got jealous, but not in a way that she's like really that interested in him.
Yeah, I agree. Like at first I was like, oh, is she gonna be all jealous? But then they have that one scene where she's like doing the little chibi thing, looking between, I already forgot his name, Kojiro, where she's looking between Kojiro and Musashi, and she's like, oh, they're stunned by her, but she wasn't like upset or like blushing hard, or she was just like, whoa.
Wow.
And I was like, what? Am I just jaded by years of tsundere, flaming hot, angry women, or like, I don't understand.
Honestly, I think the direction that they're going is going to be this new girl with Musashi, and I think they're going to eventually develop an interest between Kojiro and Tsubame.
I think so, probably. Yeah, definitely. Because they kind of already introduced that in a way when Musashi was like, I only like MILFs. And so it's like, so Kojiro has to be with Tsubame. But now they got this new girl, and he's like, she's an exception. It's like, okay, well, this just solidifies that.
Yeah, pretty much. I also thought that it was like the scene when he kept trying to talk to her in the car.
Yeah.
And then it turns out she's just a hikikomori
Yeah.
and doesn't know how to talk to people. That was very cute.
Dude, I love that. And also that whole scene, I was like, dude, this is a trap. This is a trap. They're going to kill her. She's like a villain. This is all bad. But then it was actually just wholesome and adorable.
Yeah.
Except that fucking driver, dude. He's like, careful, this is bumpy terrain. And then he like proceeds to drive off a cliff. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
You know, that's actually like one of the worst scenes in the show. Is like he was immediately like watch out for the bumpy road, and then 2 seconds later they're flying out the window. and the way they flew out the window, it was literally like just like the character model sliding along the sky.
Yeah, they PowerPoint slided out of the vehicle over the cliff and through the sky.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, don't worry, I've got this magic umbrella.
To be honest, I was gonna say it's preceded by like the coolest katana. What do they call them? Kitetsus.
Yeah,
That's gotta be my favorite Kitetsu. She's absolutely my favorite character now.
She's super cool.
Yeah.
We also got a lot of interesting lore about like her father being one of the big head honcho boys. And he's about to go fight a Kishin that they've been trying to fight for 10 years.
Yeah. Did you see that fucking Kishin? Is a giant fucking roly pin.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like,
Terrifying.
So that was pretty cool also. I think that's cool that it like kind of builds on the lore that like the longer they've been alive, the bigger they get.
Yeah. I like that a lot too.
Yeah.
Actually, the more you say these things to me, the more I'm like, this should have been like episode 3.
Yeah. You know what else we got in this episode? Something that I've been craving since the beginning.
Huh.
Different environments that aren't just
Oh
desert.
my God.
Like they went through a fucking rainforest.
Dude, when we were watching this, I was watching with my wife, and when we were watching this, she was like, oh my God, we're somewhere else. I was like, I can't believe it. We're not in the desert. And then the monster attacked, and she's like, oh, never mind. We're still in the desert. The whole jungle's just a monster.
That's really good.
I was afraid that was gonna be the case. I was like, oh no.
But then, like when they're floating away on their Mary Poppins umbrella,
Yeah.
then you see out into a vast forest. So I'm really hoping that this is like, honestly, if you break down Orient, it has done nothing wrong except be generic.
Yeah.
Like the fight with Mr. Kingdom Hearts was very cool.
Yeah.
I just like never really cared that much about what was going on,
Yeah. And actually, I have to disagree with you. Orient has done absolutely one thing definitely wrong, regardless of how you frame it.
What?
Boring ass environment.
Yes.
And I don't just mean the fact that it's all rocks and desert. Desert Punk, literally an anime all about the apocalyptic wasteland and a guy traveling through the desert, still has more dynamic environment than this fucking show.
You know what? Fair enough. Yeah. I'm really hoping that with the way this second arc is starting, this is the new normal. We're going to see new environments. We're going to go see new sites. We're going to be going through more things that aren't just desert. And the way they introduced this Kishin was really interesting. And the lore that they're building on is really interesting. I'm hoping this is the new normal that we continue from here in this direction.
It almost has to be. I mean, they've introduced a variety of differentiated bands. They've introduced a variety of differentiated shadow villains. They've introduced a variety of differentiated Kishin. And now we have differentiated landscapes. Like, if they go back to being same bland, boring nonsense, I don't fucking know how you could save this show.
Yeah, exactly.
They've set it all up. They laid it on the table. It's here. It's ready.
All right, and with the end of the episode review, that's going to bring us into our seasonal rankings, where we're going to bring this show, how we feel about it overall. I'm going to start with Chip, because
he's not here, and he can't defend himself.
I'm going to state Chip's opinion, and then give him shit for it. Oh, Jesus, yeah. I'm going to state his opinion and give him shit for it. Chip has rated Orient at an 8 out of 10. I can only assume that is 8 Kishin motorcycles out of 10. Crystal motorcycles.
As 8 Kitetsu blades out of 10.
I wish I could hear his explanation, but I can't.
Me too. I think Chip would say something along the lines of, this is a solid shonen. I love fighting, and they've got a lot of cool characters doing a lot of cool fighting, and I'm really interested to see where they go from here.
And then he's going to say, it's not a 10 out of 10 because it wasn't perfect.
And they've kind of just set everything up.
Yeah. That's Chip's opinion. Straight from him. You heard it here first, folks. I think that I would like to give this show 6 vertical piercings in your ear out of 10.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of vertical piercings.
Yeah.
The first things I want to say is that I think that the subplot with Musashi breaking out of his shell and speaking up was very interesting in the early stages of the show. Him learning to, instead of just keeping his mouth shut about things and agreeing with people because it was easier, speaking about the things that he was passionate about. That was a really cool subplot. The other subplot that I really enjoyed was Tsubame's whole arc of her breaking free from the mental abuse shackles of her adopted father.
Yeah.
These are both really interesting shonen concepts, or really interesting concepts that I have not seen explored in a shonen the way that they did here, where they were taken very seriously. You often see both of those kinds of things played up as jokes, and I felt like this was really cool to tackle these actual issues. Then we got the really cool fight scenes with Mr. Kingdom Hearts, where he slices Earth out of the sky somehow.
He slices Earth into the sky, and then he slices Earth out of the sky, but not the Earth from earlier.
The fight was really cool. I really like the character designs. The character designs in this show are actually top notch. I really like every single character's design. That being said, 6 out of 10 because I don't think that after episode 5 or 6 or whatever that was, I think that was episode 6 that I was talking about just now. But
Something like that.
the second half of this core did nothing special to me. They tackled no interesting issues, and they continued to show us bland environments, a pretty generic Chosen One story, and they continued to show us like, I don't know. I think it speaks for itself when he found that sword and called it normal looking when it super wasn't, right? And,
Yeah.
And then that's like kind of the show in a nutshell.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, you've pointed out the most not normal looking thing in your normal looking world and called it normal.
Incredible.
So 6 out of 10. I might pick up the manga for this one to see where it goes. I think the manga is probably going to be paced better.
I would hope so.
And that's my final thoughts on Orient.
Alrighty. With that, I'm going to bring in my ranking. I'm going to give Orient 7 out of 10 Fox Warriors.
7.
Yeah, 7. I know.
Hit me with your thoughts.
To be honest, I think this show, if you take it at face value, does a very good job of mimicking my exact thoughts about the show. I love the characters in this show. I love the color palettes in this show. I love the character development. I love the backstories. Musashi, his design, his story, all on board. Tsubame, design, backstory, all on board. Kojiro, same thing. That blacksmith lady, same thing. Kingdom Hearts dude, same thing. His fox servant lady, same thing. Like, all these characters, I fucking love them. They're the kind of characters that I see somebody posting, screenshots of them on an online forum, and I dig into the depths of the internet to figure out what the show is just so I can see what these characters do.
That's fair, yeah. Actually, yeah, some of the character designs are incredible. Kojiro has almost no character development, so I'll disagree on that one, but every other character, yeah, very well.
While that's mostly true, I think, actually, I don't know. I think the show's going to, completely ruin him, but I do think that he has potential, I guess. There's potential in him that I see with his dad being potentially a former Bushi band member of the Uswigis or whatever.
The weird thing about that is that every time they bring that up, it seems more relevant to Musashi than it does to Kojiro.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. This show's very frustrating. And so the second half of that, where I'm dinging all the points from, is that we have all of that in a bland-ass world with bland-ass landscapes, and there's no storyline. The story's not happening. I can't find the story. I don't know where it is.
You're right. Actually, we don't have a driving plot force.
There's no plot.
The plot is they want to kill some demons.
Kishin.
Yeah, that's it.
And even then, we derailed that so they could fight another Kitetsu blade wielder.
I think we just finally saw the Organization 13 at the end.
We did.
Yeah,
that was Organization 13.
This is still Kingdom Hearts.
This is actually just Kingdom Hearts.
So we are starting to have a plot, kind of. So I do think this is one that, the longer you stick with it, the better it's going to be.
I would agree. I honestly think that this second season core, I don't know, whatever they want to call it, I honestly, it feels hype. It feels like it's going to be really good and really cool, and we're going to see some awesome stuff. But after this first half, I just don't have the energy to care.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to pick up the manga, I think. I'm not promising I'm going to pick it up anytime soon, but I do want to pick it up. Same thing with Beach Boy Riverside. That's another one that I wanted to pick up the manga for.
That's fair, yeah. I'll probably eventually read both of those mangas.
All right, and with that currently puts Orient in this season's rankings as the number 2 best show out of 5, with number 1 being Demon Slayer for all 3 of us.
Yep.
On to Platinum End.
Next up, we have Platinum End, episode 24. The season finale.
What the fuck was that?
The show?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've already erased it from my memory.
Much like humanity has been erased from existence.
I silver arrowed my memories.
I've got some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I have those as well.
First, I was like, this is a really good ending. I actually really like it when shows take the time to give you a full episode of conclusion.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but for the people who do want to see the ending play out like that, then it's cool,
Yeah.
So seeing that and seeing how everything is going in heaven and seeing how each of the people is doing on Earth, and watching their cute lives as they grow older together, and that was great. And then they Evangelion the show.
They tore it all away. Tore it right out from underneath your fingers.
Here's the thing about Evangelion, right? When they do that in Evangelion, they have been hinting towards it for the whole series. The entire series, they talk about the Human Instrumentality Project. They talk about like the things that, like, the goals of certain people, and like whether we need to stop this or whether we need to embrace it and things like that, you know. Mm-hmm. This show had none of that. This was very jarring when it occurred.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Okay. Do you want me to just jump right into that?
Jump right into that, man.
Okay. So here's my thoughts on that. Now, I'm not saying it's done well or done properly or even maybe really actually done at all, but I think that the whole show, the entire time, has been toying with the idea of nihilism and the concept that nothing outside of your own internal reasoning matters. And so I think an ending that involves nothing except the internal reasoning of the one who became God mattering is very fitting for everything that has happened up to this point.
I do agree with you absolutely on the themes. From a technical standpoint, they had no hints towards this.
Well, I think those are I feel like those are the hints. I mean, with the entire show being sort of centered around that premise, and then we introduce a character who thinks people would be better off being allowed to kill themselves, being elevated to the status of a god, and understanding what humanity means and what it means to exist.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying it was done well or properly or even really done at all, but I guess maybe I'm just being optimistic. I feel like they attempted to. Like it didn't seem unreasonable to me.
Yeah, absolutely. There are things that I liked about this a lot and things that I didn't like about this, which is probably the reason I'm going to be thinking about the show forever. Some of my favorite pieces of media in the world are things that try to tell you something and don't succeed entirely, but do their best.
Okay.
Like a solid attempt, 6 out of 10 piece of media that has an interesting thing to say in an artistic way are a lot of the things that will stay in your mind.
Okay.
Things that everybody likes, the 10 out of 10s that everybody loves. You'll probably think about those, but my cat would like in the room. I guess I'm going to let her in.
Your cat would like to join the conversation. A new fighter joins the battle.
So overall, I do think that Platinum End was a good series. What I should say is an enjoyable series. I don't think it was a good series. It's crazy to me that when we left off last episode, we basically said like the show is over. You know,
Yeah.
we've seen the ending, and that wasn't true.
Not at all. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, there's a lot more that happens. A couple of things that I think were done poorly. This character who does become God and overall influences the story so greatly, this character was introduced over halfway into the show.
Yeah, like 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah. Putting the weight of a decision like that in a character that hasn't been there since the beginning feels very thematically wrong, right? Like,
Yeah.
if Metropoliman was the one to do this, it would have made a lot of sense. You know,
Yeah.
if
yeah,
Metropoliman was still around and he was the one to do it, that's one thing. Or if Mirai made this decision in the last thing and he made a bad call, that's one thing. But to leave it in the hands of Chuni, I'm not sure how much I like that. Some things I did like were watching Mirai and Saki live their life together and open a flower shop. That was really cute. And then watching them in their last moments as everyone's disappearing, like embrace each other and say, like, if this is the end, this is how I want it to be. And then I also tragically really loved Yoneda at the end, where he is desperately trying to come to grips, understanding the situation, and he draws conclusions before he vanishes. But we know that the conclusions that he has drawn are incorrect. And that is tragic, because his whole life is about trying to understand everything, and to suddenly have it stop like that. And that's just how life is sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes your life's work is just interrupted and you can't go back. So watching him frantically trying to come to a sudden conclusion and be wrong about it was very sad, and also kind of beautiful.
Yeah, I agree completely.
I also really loved the girl who was his assistant. Her story ended up being very good as well. It's really interesting to show, like, you know, a character who wanted nothing but money the whole series, and then like showing her grow as a character after forgetting everything that happened.
Yeah,
That was cool.
definitely. You know, and I'd even argue that the whole time she was actually just after love, kind of like what they said at the end, that, you know, the money was just the means to getting attention for her.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to throw in? You got any more? You're staring at me like you want to say something and haven't said it.
Well, I do, but you know, you have your perspective on the show. I got mine. I've just been waiting to say mine. I've been enjoying listening to yours, of course. You know.
Okay. I'll finish mine out then. The other things that I thought were somewhat maybe rushed. They presented this idea all of a sudden that the reason Nase could touch humans is because she was not originally an angel. She was also a being that essentially, like...
She was Fushi.
Yeah, she was Fushi. Oh, dude, you're right. And then also the idea that the creature that is God, right?
Yeah.
This was basically an alien.
I guess so.
It was like something that traveled through space and found this place and created humanity.
Yeah.
It was interesting seeing that, again, all of the stuff that Yoneda had predicted was incorrect. Pretty much all of it.
Yeah. He was like correct but incorrect at the same time.
Which is, fascinating.
Absolutely.
Which maybe builds even more into the themes. I think I'm going to be thinking about this show for a long time.
Honestly, I probably will be too.
Because again, like, this is the kind of show that when you have the perspective of the ending, everything means so much more. So I might actually watch this again, or maybe read through the manga.
Yeah, you know, I think that's a good idea. Definitely.
I thought it was unfortunate that Nase also disappeared. I thought that maybe because she started as an organism that was disconnected from the creature, that she might not disappear.
Same. I also thought that maybe she was going to be, if not God, then a godly entity.
Yeah.
That created the god creature that she also formed. Maybe. Guess not.
No.
Never mind on that one.
All right. I'm ready to hear your thoughts.
Okay. I feel like I view this show in 3 different ways, and each one is contextualized by the previous viewpoint on it. So my first viewpoint on this show is, I hate this show. And I don't say that a lot about it. I don't even hate GB8. I love GB8, actually.
I hate GB8.
I know. But I don't say that I hate a show a lot. And I don't necessarily hate everything about it either. It's not like I think the whole thing's a garbage wreck. There's tons of stuff I like about this show. But I think I actually hate this show. And with that context, I'd like to say also that I think the last episode of this show might be one of the greatest last episodes of an anime ever created.
Holy shit.
And now with that full context in mind, I'd like to say that I think the only way you can fully appreciate this show, and if this was not the original intention, then Tsubasa Oda is a crackpot writer and he has completely lost touch with reality. If this was not his intention, to watch the show once, reach the ending, and be forced to watch the show again for contextualization of everything that had occurred up to that point. I think that's the only way you can watch the show and find it to be anything more than a complete train wreck.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'm interested to either rewatch it or read the manga.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. I'm actually like, I feel like I have to go back and watch it now. There's no way that it could be this big of a train wreck with how well everything was like wrapped up with the last episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I feel like there's got to be a lot of subtle themes that I didn't pick up on with the way the show ended.
Yeah. I would agree. There has to be. It can't. The ending can't be that good, and the rest of it be a train wreck. It's impossible. I feel like Yonedo right now. There's no way there can be a god.
I also think that's interesting because this is the kind of controversial ending that usually has fandoms completely divided on whether people like the ending or not.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that this was a great ending if I had more context, which is why I think I need to watch it again.
That's
because
fair.
I don't feel like I had any context leading up to this. And obviously, this isn't even what Chuni thought was going to happen when he killed himself. He thought humans were going to be able to live free without him.
Yeah.
So what even are humans at that point?
I don't even know. They're a piece of God who's a piece of Nase, who's an alien life form. So humans are aliens by proxy.
Well, God wasn't a piece of Nase. God
was infected by Nase.
Yeah.
Or no, Nase. No, wait. Actually, no.
Nase
Nase
was
was a piece
infected
of
by
God.
Nase was bacteria on the planet that God infected with himself.
Yeah, so the floaty god found Earth because apparently it was created before floaty god was there. And he found a being that went into him and tried to infect him, but he cast it out, and that turned into Nase.
But Nase was already bacteria on the planet.
Yeah, but Nase wasn't the angel that she is now. She was just like bacteria or whatever.
Yeah, and then that bacteria was infected by pieces of God.
No, that bacteria infected God. Because he found the bacteria, and then he was like, it tried to take me over, but I tossed it out of my body, and it became Nase.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. Which actually, we can go into this too if you want to, because I think it could be interesting, but this show is like heavily wrapped in Gnostic Christian lore.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Like, incredibly so. It's almost like a retelling of the Gnostic Gospels.
The Gnosticism is really interesting because the word Gnostic in Latin actually means knowing.
Yeah.
So they were like, we're right.
Yeah, they're like, we're the knowers.
Yeah.
We've got the knowledge, boys.
But overall, like, really, really, I have to watch the show again.
Yeah. Agreed. But I will, without needing to rewatch the show, give the show major props for having the balls to end it like it did.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
There are so many shows in the history of anime that could have subverted everybody's expectations by having an ending like that, and Platinum End had the balls to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like I've experienced endings like this a couple of other times in media franchises that I love that I know you haven't experienced yet.
Yeah.
This was the most jarring of them for sure. When it happened in the
Yeah.
other shows, it felt like it was leading up to something big, and then that big thing was this event. This one, the big event felt like it was supposed to be Chuni becoming God, and then they killed everyone.
Yeah. You know how I said that I felt like this whole show was a train wreck?
Yes.
Part of it is because of that very subversion, that very thing that they did where we thought the ending was Chuni ascending to God, and then actually it was him killing off humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like literally every major and minor plot point in the show, they attempted to go, oh, this thing's going to happen. Gotcha, rug pull. We subverted your expectation. And most of the time it was just like nonsense. I mean, there are some cool things. Like when Mirai stabbed the bacteria with the white arrow and killed it because it's a living organism, I was like, that's a pretty cool subversion.
Yeah, absolutely.
When Metropoli Man was a rich kid with a Syscon complex, I was like, that's really dumb.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so the whole show just feels like a series of gotcha moments. Like they wanted to just shock us the whole time. And I'm like, you can't shock me when nothing's happening. There's no driving force to the shock.
Oh, I've been told that that's a problem in Dr. Stone when you get into the really late parts of it, is that eventually gets to a point when they're just like, ha, I got you. No, I got you. No, I got you.
Oh, no.
I'm really looking forward to that. So what do you think? What are you going to rank this show as? It's actually really hard to rate it without watching it a second time.
It's really, really, really hard. Man, like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I almost want to I want to rate the first 23 episodes, and then I want to rate the 24th episode. And do I give the show an average of those numbers, or I don't know. What do I do? Oh.
Yeah, why don't you average it?
Okay. If I average it, then this show is going to get a 7 out of 10, I think.
What do you rate the first 23 episodes?
5 out of 10.
What do you rate the last episode?
9 out of 10.
That is reasonable. We are at 7 out of 10. Okay. Chip is going to rate this show 6 Metropolitan Angels out of 10.
I think that's reasonable.
I don't think it's reasonable because I personally liked this show more than Orient. And the fact that he gave Orient an 8 and then Platinum End a 6. I think giving Platinum End a 6 is a totally fair rating if he rated Orient 5.
Honestly, I think both these shows are 7 out of 10s.
I think I would like to give Platinum End the ranking of 7.5 white arrows out of 10.
But there were only 2 or 3.
This show was a fucking roller coaster and a train wreck, and I think I loved every second of it. I think it was just actually really fun. This is one of those shows that I'm glad I watched it every week because I think it was more fun that way.
I would agree with that, except for the episode where Mirai and Saki were talking the whole time.
Yeah, well, you know, you win some, you lose some. I think that this is a perfectly, you know, the thing I'm going to say about Orient is I think Orient was painfully average.
Yes.
I think this show was wildly not average in a way that makes it bad but more fun.
Yes. It's like GB8.
No, not like GB8. Not at all like GB8. I think I'm going to stick with my 7.5 rating. Honestly, I'm going to go to a 7 rating.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think actually 7 is more sense. I was thinking about it for a second, and I was like, you know what? I think 7.5 is when you creep into things that I think are good.
Creeping into the good show territory.
Yeah, so I think 7 is more fair actually. This show was so much fun to watch and talk about. Whether we were talking about like why the logic in it doesn't make sense or why the logic in it did make sense or what was going to happen next and where things were going to go and who was going to be God. The thought that Mirai wasn't going to be God literally never crossed my mind.
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, I think that this show is a 7 out of 10 train wreck that I fucking love.
Yeah, you know, I'm right there with you. Absolutely. That's this show 100% in a nutshell.
What did I give Orient? 6?
I think so.
I hope so.
Yes, you did.
Cool.
Because it averaged out to 7 with our rankings.
Oh, okay.
Everything's a 7 this season.
All right. With Chip's 6, my 7, and Jesse's 7, that has executively created a 7.
a 6.7, which rounds up to 7.
Our current rankings stand at what did you rank Orient?
7.
And I gave it a 6, and Chip gave it an 8.
Yeah.
So it's a 7.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer in number 1 place, and tied for 2nd and 3rd, Orient and Platinum End.
The 2 greatest worst shows we've ever seen.
Now, for our finale, we will be talking about the finale of the 2nd cour of Attack on Titan.
Let's go!
And now, last up on our finale, we have Attack on Titan, the final season, episode 87, the end of the final season, part 2. It's the fact. Where did they go from here? All right. Anyways, I want the entire audience to know that before we record our next episode, I will have finished this manga.
Incredible.
Yeah. I'm just going to pick it up exactly where the show leaves off here.
Yeah, dude, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
We got, like, what, 8 chapters left
Something like
to
that.
finish? So.
Yeah. These last couple episodes have been very, very tense. And I think that's really good, except that I was expecting this to be the last episode. So the fact that it's not is kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
Episode 86. Oh, did I just say 87? 86 and 87.
Nice. So anyways, next up, season 2 of 86.
I want to pick up those light novels. Episode 86 was very, very action centric and felt really, really good to me. It was very like Attack on Titan season 3 part 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to see lots of zipping around, lots of Titan fighting.
Titan fighting, hell yeah.
And even Mikasa cutting down many bitches.
Many bitches. She cut a bitch. A couple of them, at least.
Emotionally, I think the high point came at the episode before this one, or like 85, when we had the build up with
all the homies killing each other.
Yeah,
Connie.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, Connie.
I couldn't remember his name, but yeah, that was really fucking sad.
That was super sad.
This one was all action, like no sadness anymore, just kill.
Yeah, we're already past that. Now it's just time to end.
We did also get the realization that it was going to take a lot longer to get everything up and running than they expected.
Oh yeah.
Because they and now we know that Annie's hometown will be destroyed before they can do anything about it. That was tragic.
That's super sad. Though to be fair, she hasn't had a backstory for 3 seasons, so.
But now she does, and it's sad.
It's amazing. It's like, it's kind of funny. I mean, it's sort of obvious because she was frozen, but like they froze her story, and then they just picked her story back up.
Yeah, dude.
When she unfroze,
honestly,
just back at it.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
The other thing that we saw in episode 86 that was really interesting is we saw a flashback of John and Connie drinking with a man with a beard who had a red hat on. And I was like, who the fuck is that guy? Am I supposed to remember that? And then in episode 87, we see the part where they're drinking together. This was like, it was really interesting to me because usually we'll see those kind of events and then we'll flash back to it the event will have been foreshadowing and then we see the flashback, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, the future events that happened in the past were foreshadowed by him being sad that this man might die.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a choice.
Definitely.
I don't think it's bad. It's just like different.
Yeah. I don't know. In the context of the show, like as solitary episodes, I think it's kind of fine. It's an interesting way to go about it. But in the context of the show, it's, I don't know, it's like we have all this action and major plot points and political strife and these deep personal emotional bonds being broken and built, and then there's this flashback of some dude we don't know. And then the next episode is dedicated to showing us why he ran into that flashback. Yeah. And it's like, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
The climax of the season
was a flashback episode. Big
Jesse's
brain.
favorite.
I love it. I have good track record with flashbacks.
What was it recently that you were complaining about that was like all flashbacks?
Fucking Orient.
Oh,
they had like 2 different episodes that were just all the same flashback.
Oh yeah, that's right. Watching the action in the future was incredible. Seeing like these artillery cannons gunning down these giant titans, and then like it's just not stopping fucking anything.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Pretty nuts. Honestly, there's way more titans than I thought there was.
I mean, they had 3 whole walls built around a city made out of those guys.
Yeah, so what is that, like 100 of them? Like,
let's do some quick math. If you take the diameter of the middle of the circle of the outer wall and we multiply that by pi r squared, then we get approximately the number of titans in half of the wall.
So how many is that?
I don't know.
Do the math, Jesse.
How big is the city? I don't know what the diameter of the city is.
I don't know.
Let's say it's 1,000 miles. So that's like 1,000,000 and something mile circumference. If one of those titans is like, let's say
1,000 feet
20th,
wide.
I was going to say like 1/20th of a mile wide, and they're all crammed in there next to each other. And there's like about 1,000,000 miles of that wall. It's like 20 million titans in just the outer wall.
There's a lot of Titans.
It's a lot of titans.
All right.
That's some extremely rough math.
Yeah. This back of the napkin to a new extreme.
It's back of my forehead.
Like the concept of the back of your forehead, which is just your brain.
My brain's inside my skull, scribbling notes on the back of my forehead.
Seeing the flashback was really nice because it reunited us with the crew again, which is something we haven't seen in a very long time.
Yeah, especially Sasha.
Especially Sasha, which was great.
That was fantastic.
The fact that I thought she was Gabby at first goes to show how good of a job they did at making Gabby look like Sasha on purpose.
Yeah, they made her the new Sasha. She was reincarnated into Gabby.
This is my favorite anime.
The time I was reincarnated into the child who assassinated me.
Oh my god. Unfortunately, I could see that being the case. Like that's like could be a real anime.
Honestly, it sounds like a pretty good anime.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Honestly, like it's really hard. It's kind of really hard to talk about this episode, right? Because I was expecting a climax and it kind of wasn't. It was like we did get the conflict resolution with the boat, but we're building up to a climax we haven't seen yet that we won't be seeing until I believe December.
Nice.
This we actually did something special this week. Usually if something airs on Sunday, we won't talk about it that day because that's the day we record. We watch all the stuff before we record. This week, we went out of our way to watch. We just watched this, like literally just now.
Just a minute ago.
We recorded the whole podcast except for this segment and then went and watched the last episode, and now we're recording. And I thought I'd have more to say.
Big brain. To be honest, this episode, like, it didn't give us anything. I mean, it's the final episode. They were like so into making this final episode of the final season, part 2, like so memorable or like so high impact or something, whatever they were planning, that they delayed the schedule so they could get the appropriate time slot for it. And then 3/4 of it was a flashback episode.
It was a very meaningful flashback. I'm glad we got that context.
I agree 100%. This episode was definitely needed, and why now? Like, this could have happened like 6 episodes ago.
Now, let me give you some more context here. And I could be wrong on this, but I don't think that this flashback took place here in the manga. My understanding was about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half ago, when they released their episode for that week, that episode had skipped a chapter. And I didn't know why yet, but I had planned on going back and reading the one they skipped just in case they never covered it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a strong feeling that this is the chapter they skipped and they're giving it to us now. This would have been better if they had given it to us at the appropriate time.
Yeah, why would they do this?
That's a great question.
Is this Peach Boy Riverside or what?
And then, like, even especially if they had done that way, then we could have ended with the, like, big revelation that we got last week.
Yeah.
That this boat may not catch up to Eren in time.
Talk about a season finale.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been the big one.
It's like the definition of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that penultimate dread of having this plan just to know that there's no way it could have been accomplished. You know, with the setting sun of Eren's massive Ultima Titan form and the Colossals marching onto an island as the Azumabitos and the Eldian gang stand around in absolute dread at the thought that there's no way they can catch up. That sounds fucking epic.
Yeah. It was a great episode.
Yeah.
That being said, I have absolutely no context for real because I have not read that chapter. I don't know if that is the thing that we missed.
Fair enough. All I can say is that whatever order the manga did it in, the anime did it in the wrong order.
I will say that I was discussing with a friend this morning, And again, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but our running theory is that they stretched out, because especially we have like actually 8 chapters left to cover. And I believe Attack on Titan has 40 page chapters, which are double length. So we're looking at actually 16 chapters worth of content.
That's about a season, right?
No.
Oh.
No, 16 chapters. I would probably say that's, depending on how much action happens and how much talking happens, 4 chapters would make 1 episode if they're talking, or if they're fighting a lot. 2 chapters would make 1 episode if they're talking a lot.
Okay. Gotcha.
So we are looking between 4 to 8 episodes of content. So to me, it feels like they are stretching this out to capitalize on Attack on Titan merchandise, making one more year of Attack on Titan being relevant.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have any evidence to back that up. I don't know if it is true, but that's what it feels like.
I can't disagree with that logic, so I'm gonna say very unfortunate if that's the case. I think everything up until this last bit has been the whole ride incredible. Attack on Titan seasons 1 through 4, part 1. And season 4, part 2 has also been incredible, but I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I have just gotten confirmation by looking it up and reading and flipping through the chapter. Yes, chapter 123, which they skipped a while back, is the one that we just witnessed. So they have destroyed the pacing of the season by moving that to the end.
There was literally no reason to do that.
Oh my God.
Literally no reason to do that.
Can you imagine? Okay, imagine for a second. We put that stuff in the right place, right? It shifts everything just a little bit. So not only do we get the episode that ends with finding out that they're too late, we also get that sweet scene right afterwards of the Titans being shot by the artillery cannons and then marching up onto shore, and that would have been the ending episode of this season.
That's what I'm saying. It would have been that might have been one of the most epic anime endings to a season of all time. But they did this instead. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Why are you doing this?
It's a little frustrating. I try not to nitpick. I'm not an anime studio. I don't know how this shit works. And I do understand wanting to sell more merch. Absolutely. Like, fair.
Yeah.
It just feels like a little, I don't know, disingenuous.
Yes. This is terrible. Why have Mappa? Mappa of all studios, bro. What's going on, dude? What's wrong, Mappa? Trying to save up that sweet cash money for Chainsaw Man or what?
Yeah, dude, I hope so. They have to capitalize on Attack on Titan merch to make Chainsaw Man that much sweeter. Unfortunately, like, I really did think I'd have more to say about Attack on Titan here, but I don't. I will probably give my closing thoughts on Attack on Titan on our next episode at the start of our new format when I read the manga.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting until December to see the end of this.
Definitely not.
All of the tension will have left my body already by that point.
The tension has already left my body. This episode has single-handedly unhyped me for the rest of the series.
It was a very cute episode.
Very cute episode.
Yeah.
That's not why I watch Attack on Titan.
I like it for the cute moments too.
Well, I like the cute moments. I think they're good, and I definitely enjoy them. But like,
not as a season finale.
This is not Kobayashi-san.
Yeah, fair enough. Dude, actually, Kobayashi-san, like the last few episodes of season 1, are like fucking devastating. Like,
they're hardcore.
Yeah,
there's family strife, emotional struggle, real battles. Unlike Attack on Titan, which had boats shooting some titans and ice cream.
Dude, the ice cream scene's so good.
The ice cream scene was great.
Oh, dude, I miss Sasha.
Me too.
Okay, so this is another one that I'm going to have a hard time rating. But the biggest reason I'm going to have a hard time rating this one is because it's not over.
And it's also the second half of the final season.
I can't wait for the third half of the final season.
Jesus Christ.
So, that being said, I think I will give Attack on Titan Season 4, Part 2, the rating of incomplete out of 10. I guess if I had to rate this season in particular, it was really good. I would probably give it like a 8.
Yeah, for sure.
It's solid, you know.
Absolutely.
It had its ups and downs. I don't always love where this story is going. I think the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan are always going to be my favorite part of Attack on Titan.
Understandable.
The 4th season is good in its own way, but in a very different direction. And overall, I mean, I'll give it 8 Colossal Titans out of 10.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Well, with basically all our thoughts on the table here, I'm going to give Attack on Titan Season 4, Part 2 out of who knows how many. An 8 out of 10. Large boat guns.
Large boat guns. All right, looking at this, it appears that Chip has given Attack on Titan Season 4, Part 2, an 8.5 out of 10, rounding our total down to 8 out of 10.
Ooh. That means our series final ratings come out with Demon Slayer topping the charts, clocking in at a 9 out of 10, followed very closely by Attack on Titan, clocking in at an 8 out of 10, with 2 shows bringing up the rear, tied for 3rd and 4th places, Platinum End and Orient, both clocking in at a 7 out of 10.
This also means that 2 of Chip's 3 rankings that we currently did had no bearing on the final placement.
Oh, incredible.
Thanks for joining us this week, Chip. I appreciate your rankings. Overall, did I love this season? I sure did love to read in Dragon Ball. I'm very excited to see where we go from here. So, once again, thank you all for joining us. We're going to be taking a 1-month hiatus. So we're going to be skipping our normal week from 2 weeks from now. We're going to be taking our bye week, which means we'll be back in 1 month with our new episode. If we need longer for our new format, we'll let everybody know. Make sure to watch Twitter for that. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you next month.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us for this episode of ReCasters Anime Podcast. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
Feel free to check us out on Facebook. We post anime-related memes there almost daily. Let us know what you think of the current anime season, or even just say hi. You can look forward to weekly releases every Tuesday morning on platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Tune in next week for more anime discussion.
Ja, mata raishu!